Fairly reflect those of WJZ-FM, Odyssey, its sponsors, or affiliates.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in to another edition of the Bruce Cunningham Show. We're with you till 3 o'clock today when we give way to Mike Popovic. We got a pretty good show for you today. Rich Dubroff will join us this hour, as he usually does, to talk about the Orioles, and the less said, the better. I'm getting back to this real quick, believe me. At 1:30, Kevin Ostreicher joins us. We're going to talk Ravens training camp. The rookies reported yesterday. The veterans, I believe, tomorrow. And then training camp's open. Boy, I'm ready. How about you? And then in the 2 o'clock hour, this is going to be nice. As you probably heard yesterday, this show is no longer Bruce and Femi. Femi Ayambadejo has been promoted. He's going to be part of the evening drive, what we call it in the business, afternoon drive, evening drive. He's going to be on with Ken Wyman. And, why am I blanking? Ken Wyman and who? Tim Barbalace. Tim, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And it starts soon. So that means it's just me again here on Saturdays. So we're going to go back to doing the show we did for all these years. We're going to play the music. We're going to take your calls. It's going to have a lot less weighty content because that's what Femi brought. And I loved working with Femi. I really did. Just watching him grow into the role and become somebody that this station can bank on. That was cool for me. And I'm going to be honest with you, from the very beginning of our pairing back in March, I told him, I said, this is temporary. Don't get comfortable here. And as it turns out, I was right. I've been around 50-some years. I've learned a few things. So congratulations to Femi. And he's going to join us at 2:30. And we're going to reminisce a little bit. We're going to talk about his new role. And, Femi being Femi will go in some interesting directions. So that's the show for you today. Now, back to the Orioles. They come out of the break. They reel off 7 wins in a row. And we're thinking, okay, all right, the Orioles have finally shown up. Well, that disaster last night, that's losses in 3 of their last 4. Patience has run out with these guys. I'm not going to spend the whole day jumping on them with steel cleats, but it's just, the way you lose that one last night. The fact that you waste a brilliant Trevor Rogers start. And the fact that yet another major error cost you a ball game. Now, we can talk about, wild card standings and all that, 3.5 back, great. That's great. That's good news. Only 3.5 back. Well, there's a lot of teams ahead of them, first of all. And secondly, night in and night out, can anyone look at this team and genuinely say this is a playoff team? This is a team of playoff caliber? Now, I know there's going to be some of you that say, well, you just get there because everybody's record's 0-0. And that's absolutely right. Just getting there's something for that, or to that, rather. But anybody that's watching these guys night in and night out, can you say truly that this is a playoff team? Can you? No. Playoff teams play defense. Playoff teams don't beat themselves. As John Mioli said in the banner, and I still chuckle to myself when I hear that, playoff teams don't find rakes to step on. And that's the best way to describe the Baltimore Orioles in 2026. They just keep stepping on rakes, And that was a bad rake last night. That one hurt. That truly did. Atlanta, you had them. You had them. And Trevor Rogers, my gosh, I guarantee you that every team in baseball is coveting Trevor Rogers right now, even though he only got until the end of this season on his contract. The way he's throwing, he just might pitch your team to a World Series. So Mike Elias insists that they're going to be buyers and not sellers at the trade deadline, which is coming up. If somebody called me for Trevor Rogers and offered enough, I might have to listen if I'm the Orioles. Seriously. Now, I have no idea what they could get, whether, prospects or what position or anything like that. I'm just talking in a theoretical sense. If this team's going nowhere, and it looks like it might be, Trevor Rogers could help a contending team. That is for damn sure. I just feel bad for him. I do. At some point they got to start getting wins for these guys. They're pitching these gems, and then, man, it just gets swept away. And Trevor Rogers comes out of that last night with a no decision. Just come on. One piece of good news, and you do have to kind of dig for it, but it's there, is Christian Encarnacion Strand. First of all, the last name. He's got on the back of his jersey, he's got Encarnacion. Okay, there's no dash Strand. Frankly, I don't think they could fit it all on there. But if that's what it says on the back of his jersey, because my inclination is just to call him Strand. But no, that's no good either. So Encarnacion Strand. It kind of reminds me of the Netherlands. And stay with me on this. The Netherlands are less formally known as Holland. And the people who come from there are Dutch. Netherlands, Holland, Dutch. Same thing with his hyphenated name. But anyway, the reason I bring him up, he's probably the best hitter in their lineup right now. He's got 3 home runs over his first 5 games. Actually, it's even better than that. 8 RBI over his first 5 games with the Orioles, and that's a club record. He had 4 RBI yesterday, 2-run double in the second, 2-run homer in the 10th. That looked like that might have been the game winner. That is until we don't even get me started on that. He's playing well. It's good to see. Third base has been a thorny problem. And I'm glad, he's not going to win a Gold Glove over there, but if he's swinging a hot bat, they can certainly use that. They certainly can. Really excited this week for the start of training camp, Ravens training camp. We've been talking about it an awful lot in the offseason. It's going to be good to have some new stuff to talk about. New head coaching or new coaching staff, familiar faces back. Everybody's healthy. Everybody seems okay. Now, of course, that's all temporary. There's one thing you can bank on. It's injuries in the preseason, but it's just going to be good to have something else to talk about. One other final thought about the Orioles here. They had a press conference yesterday to, announce Kyle Bradish's contract extension, and ownership was there. Rubenstein. Now, over the last month, maybe 6 weeks, Mike Elias, the general manager, even though he's got a fancy corporate title, he's the general manager to me, has been basically getting his butt kicked on social media, in the regular media. Everybody wanted his head on a pole, They won 7 in a row. That talk kind of quieted down, but it still persists. And at that presser yesterday, Rubenstein was asked about Elias and his job security. Aaron, you got that?
Absolutely. Of course. Mike he was the baseball executive of the year a few years ago, widely regarded as outstanding by his peers and other people in baseball. Absolutely. And he's done a terrific job. I'm very, very happy, and we couldn't be more pleased. We've had some injuries, but that's not Mike's fault. And so in the end, we're very pleased, and we're really, really happy to have such a talented executive leading our baseball team. Okay.
He hadn't been an owner long enough to do owner tricks. I really believe that came from his heart. So, if I'm Elias, I'm sitting there at the table, and I really liked hearing that. And I think Rubenstein knew that Elias needed to hear that. Is it going to make any difference? I don't know. I know it's getting harder and harder to watch this team night in and night out. The 7-game winning streak was nice. And I think a lot of us, me included, got a little bit seduced there. Hey, okay. Hey, jump back on the train. Let's go. These guys, they finally shown up. 3 out of 4 they've lost since the end of that 7-game winning streak. It's just frustrating. Very, very frustrating. You know, if they were a bad team, you could see it. But, you know, when they're really good and they get a pitching performance like that, and you got guys hitting home runs, and it's a pretty full ballpark. It was Hawaiian shirt giveaway night, but even so, I mean, your seats were filled. People were happy. People were loud. You know, it's the way it's supposed to be around here. But last night is not going to build your crowd. It's not. I mean, people are going to see that. They're going to see that error, another error, yet another error, and they're just going to, you know, feel the way I feel right now, and that is I'm bordering on indifference. You know, when I was still working at Fox 45, I had to watch every inning because we had to do our own highlights. You know, I don't have to do that anymore, I kind of I'm glad I don't have to watch every inning because it's just too frustrating, way too frustrating. No lead is safe. You know, nothing's going to be easy. But I'm going to get back to my original point, and that is, do any of you think that this is a playoff team? Playoff caliber team? I think if you're honest with yourself, you probably have to say no. Maybe our expectations were too high. You know, I'm real big on low expectations. And even during the 7-game winning streak, I told you keep your expectations low because this team is just fated to break your heart. There it is, right there. All right, I'm sure many of you want to weigh in. So the number is 410-583-1057. We open up the phones next after this break, 410-583-1057. Bruce Cunningham Show is off and running.
Beginning July 29th, your afternoons just got a whole lot better. Former Raven and Super Bowl 35 champion Femi Ayanbadejo joins Tim Barbalace and Ken Weinman to bring you The Final Drive. Weekdays from 2 to 6. Femi, Ken, and Tim break down the teams you love with the analysis you need. The Final Drive. Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. 105.7 The Fan.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. I went to Giant and got groceries for the week, and I was even able to pick up everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
I get money back on the entire trip.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on groceries, gas, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first trip to Giant.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Roll into summer with a full grocery cart and extra cash back. Download Upside and use promo code CHARM04 to earn an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM04 for an extra $10 cash back. Remember, use promo code CHARM04.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
When the heat is on, your air conditioner has to work harder than ever. If it's blowing warm air, making strange noises, or struggling to keep up, don't wait for a breakdown. Call FH Fur for fast, reliable AC service and repairs. And if it's time for a replacement, now's the time to upgrade. As FH Fur celebrates 45 years, get 0% financing for 72 months on a qualifying new system purchase. Plus, a free Enviro Air indoor air quality 5-inch filter.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. No, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Sniff the difference. Hey.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used the trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
I got to admit, I was talking to Aaron, and earlier this week, I went deep into the beach music vault, and boy, that one jumps out of the speakers, doesn't it? Whew! Man, I'm ready now. 410-583-1057. Full bank of calls. I'm going to get to every last one of you, I promise. That shows how people are tired of these Orioles. I almost said something that, you don't say on the air. Tony in Rosedale, up to that point.
Hey, Bruce, how's it going?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. Hey, this Orioles situation, we've been at this same exact position the last 2 years. They look like they're going to do something, get over the hump. And then an error or something crazy happens to halt things. It just stops momentum. I mean, I'm to the point now where I'm just going to wait and see what they do. And with this trading deadline coming up, here's the problem. Who knows what they're looking to get in return to help this team?
Right.
Because one night it's the offense. Next night it's the bullpen. The next night it's the defense. So if you do make a trade trying to help the team get in the playoffs, what do you prioritize as help to get, what position do you fill? Because you understand what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. You're not going to get anywhere. Like, let's just use Trevor Rogers for an example here. You're not going to get nearly what you should. You're not. And Rich Dubroff has said repeatedly, and I know you hear Rich every week, he has said that the fans here the fan base isn't going to take another rebuild. Right. So that's why I think they may just stand pat.
Right. That's what I would do, because at this point, you can't make a trade and say, oh, this reliever is going to help us get over the hump. This hitter is going to help us get over because they take in circles every time you start building momentum with, doing stuff. One night, offense score one run, then the next night, the starting pitcher gets lit up, and then the bullpen. Like I said, it's too much to pinpoint what you need. So I would just stand put and see what happens.
I don't think they have a choice. I really don't.
Right. And one final comment. I see the Ravens put back Chris Moore. Now, I don't know if that's a real upgrade there at wide receiver. He's always been a good 3-4 guy. Are they still going to look for, a veteran wide receiver at this point?
I think, yeah. I think so. I think a lot of that's going to come down to I think they want to get this team on the field in pads to see what this whole thing looks like, before they start to assess their needs. But there are some good ones out there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them jump on one.
Okay, that's it for this
All
week.
right, Tony. Good to hear from you.
Happens.
See you later. There he goes, Tony in Rosedale. Let's go to John in Timonium. John, what's up?
Hey, Bruce. I tell you, there's a lot of different angles I could take this conversation, but I know you got callers. I was there last night. I'll tell you, when you're watching Rogers pitch, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
When Garcia let up that home run, you could just feel all the oxygen of that stadium just go.
Yep.
It was done.
Yep.
And it was like, here we go again. And, and sure enough, it was, here we go again. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm starting to think that we have been drinking too much orange Kool-Aid in this town. I don't see where, and I know I'll probably get railroaded for this. I can't give Gunnar a contract. He is nothing more than a 250 hitter at best and a very average fielder.
I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with him, but I wish he'd figure it out. He's too good a player to do that. You know, he comes up to the plate, and instead of saying, "Hey, it's Gunnar," it's like, "Oh no," you know. It just
I hope I don't. It's like you look at him and he's looking like, I hope the guy doesn't strike out again.
Yeah.
You know, Holiday, I don't see any improvement in him one bit. I wouldn't even entertain giving contracts to Boris clients because they're all going to play out their contract, and he's going to try to get top-notch dollar. You know, keep drafting the shortstops and the second basemen. You can always make a shortstop a second baseman, and or third baseman from a shortstop. But I can't give these guys contracts because look what's happening. We're down a few guys. Obviously, we're down our 2 starting catchers. We're down our best hitter, in Blaze. Westberg never got a shot this year. But the fact of the matter is, we're getting more production out of guys that are from the trash heap, like this Encarnacion. He basically. I looked at my buddy last night. I go, we got 6 hits through 8 innings. It's crazy. And Encarnacion had 2 RBIs and a double. He was most of the production.
Yeah.
And he was mopping floors at McDonald's last week, for crying out loud.
Up in New Jersey pumping gas,
Yeah, I think I gave him a tip. But what I'm saying is I just can't drink this Kool-Aid anymore thinking that, this is our future. Because guess what, guys? Our future is about to leave because
the window is coming down. It is.
And my last point is, obviously, for all those people that wanted Brandon Hyde to get fired, where are you now?
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it was going to do a whole lot of good when they did it. All right, John, thanks for the call. Very well thought out, and you made a lot of points that not many people are going to argue with, that's for sure. Let's go down to Key West and Rich. What's going on, Rich?
Hey, Bruce, thanks for taking my phone call.
Sure.
I wanted to call about Jackson Holiday, and I'm not just talking about the crazy play he made last night. And I'm not even going to say that the kid's a bust, but as a 1-1, maybe he is. But he is not a second baseman. He lacks the range both right and left. He doesn't have the arm strength to make the turn second, and he's just not a second baseman. And I think that the issue that I have with Holiday is with the Orioles and with their player development people. Because I think he's endemic of a big issue that's been going on for years with this team. They moved that kid too fast through the minor leagues.
No doubt.
They brought him up, and the kid can't hit a chest-high fastball.
Yeah.
And I think you can look at Kaiser, you can look at Mayo, and Christad. There is something wrong with the player development program with the Orioles. I don't know what the Tampa Bay Rays do, but somebody ought to go down there and hire every one of those guys and bring them up to Baltimore.
I agree. We were on. Thanks for the call. We were on a couple of weeks ago during the draft, and Tampa Bay picked high, of course. I think they had the number 2 pick, and I said I never heard of this guy, but I guarantee you he'll be an all-star in a couple of years because that's just what they do. Rich in Whitehall, what's on your mind?
Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
Asked the question as to whether or not the Orioles are a playoff team. My answer is no, but I made that determination at the end of May.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised they won 7 in a row, but I think that 6 of those wins were against subpar opponents.
Well, it's still 7 wins, though. Come on.
Yeah. Bruce, there's a hell of a big difference between beating Houston and who's the other team? Kansas City.
Yeah.
6 in a row versus beating the Dodgers and Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That reminds me. Bobby Bowden took the Florida State job. They'd been 0-11 the year before, and he said when he was at Alabama, all the bumper stickers said beat Auburn. When he was at West Virginia, all the bumper stickers said beat Pitt. He said he came in there off of 0-11 season. He said they had bumper stickers said just beat anybody. You know. So just beat anybody. I don't care who they beat, but I understand your point. Thanks for the call, Rich. Real quick, let's get Antonio in Rosedale. What's on your mind, sir?
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Have we figured it out
Yeah, are we buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Antonio. You too. I don't know. I think they're going to be buyers, or I don't think they're going to be active at all. I kind of thought they might try to deal Rodgers just to see what they could get, but right now, no, I don't think so at all. All right, coming up, Rich Dubroff. We're going to talk Oriole baseball with him. Stick around. Bruce Cunningham Show continues.
If you're thinking about it,
every day,
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
The Sherwin-Williams Summer Sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off our newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy? Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support. All in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mira Fiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mira Fiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Most of us are one good deal away from finally replacing that worn-out rug, fixing up the backyard, or getting the bedroom we actually want. Good news, that deal's almost here. Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style,
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA Smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
Circulating Knowledge is sponsored by Vascular Surgery Associates.
Hello, I am Dr. Michael Osgood with Vascular Surgery Associates, or VSA. Do you have heavy, achy, painful legs? Do you notice swelling in your feet and legs throughout the day? Do you have unsightly or uncomfortable varicose veins? If you have any of these symptoms, you may be suffering from chronic venous insufficiency, and we at VSA can help. Visit us at vsaveins.com. That's vsaveins.com.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. It's a shame the way you hurt me. It's a shame.
You know, those lyrics are kind of appropriate as it has to do with the Baltimore Orioles. Another soul-crunching heartbreaker last night. Joining to talk to us all about that with a smile on his face, because you have to keep a smile on your face when you're talking about this club, Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com. Rich, that was a tough one last night, and I'm trying to be diplomatic when I say that.
Well, it was. I think the Braves are a really excellent fielding team.
Yes.
And they made several really excellent plays during regulation, the first 9 innings. And if a couple of that, one or two of them had dropped for hits, then the Orioles would have won the game.
Right.
And they had a really bad 10th inning. So, but these are the kind of games they have to win.
Yep.
All these games are important now. Every week, every week we talk about it, and it seems like, last week they were, they were playing really well, and then after they got out of Houston, not so well. So they have 9 days left before the trade deadline, and they can't lose too many of these games.
No, they can't. Trevor Rogers was outstanding again last night. I'm starting to think he's one of the best pitchers in the game right now.
Well, he's on the kind of role right now that he was on last year.
Yeah,
pitching just so well, and the Orioles really need him, and it would be a shame if, as the spinners would say, it's a shame if they have to if they decide to trade him, and I don't think they will.
I don't know that they're going to do anything at the trade deadline.
I think you're wrong.
Really?
I think that they're going. I think that they're going to aggressively try and build up the bullpen.
Okay.
I think starting pitching's hard to get. I think they have adequate start. I think they have adequate starting. I think for the most part the starters have been pretty good.
Agreed.
Rogers been good. Bradish has been good. Shane Baz, has been pretty good. So I think that there's been, I think that the starting pitching has not been bad. It has not been bad. You can't help it when your two catchers are out. I mean, since we talked last, they lost two. They lost two catchers. And if you're trying to get to the division, get to the wild card with Chadwick Tromp and Sam Huff, who are okay as an occasional fill-in. But if you have to go with them for an extended period of time, they're not going to provide much offense.
Right.
So that's pretty tough. But what they really need to do is shore up that bullpen, because Ryan Helsley may not pitch again this season, or if he does, it's not going to be. He's not eligible to pitch till close to September.
Right.
And then Tyler Wells is fine, but I don't think that you can count on him for being being your stopper. Kittredge has been up and down. Rico Garcia was great earlier, and then not so great now. They've done well with Cano. Wolfram has been, not quite as good as he was, earlier this season. So they need more. They need more arms in the bullpen, and I think that's what they should be doing. Is if they're serious about, getting to the postseason, and they are. I think that they have to do that. And fans might say, "Oh, it's not that." They want the big. Fans always want the big move. But I think that's the move they need to make, is to try and get a couple of arms, another lefty, and another right-hander that can pitch late in the game.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit. We heard from the owner yesterday. It's not a rare occurrence, but it doesn't happen all that often. And the main takeaway from that for me, I wanted to hear what he said about Mike Elias, because Mike Elias has been getting beat up for about 6 weeks now. I played his statement earlier. The audience got to hear it. If I'm Mike Elias, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And do you think that was part of Rubenstein's strategy? Maybe was to he's sitting right here. Let me say this publicly.
No, because he had to wait till I asked it.
Yeah,
and that was the last question. That was the last question of the press conference.
Right,
and I don't think he was. Yes, I think. I mean, he answered the way I thought he would answer.
Mm-hmm.
But if he wanted to make an impromptu endorsement of Elias, he could have done that before.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's what I expected, and I think that the fans. I know the large majority of callers, the large majority of the loud fans are anti-Elias, and I felt for a while that was not shared by the ownership. And yes, of course, they could go and change their minds at some point. But I think that Mike Elias isn't going anywhere.
Was it you who had the line or told me on this show that nobody influences an owner more than his friends? Was that you that told me that?
No.
That was a pretty good line. One other thing. Speaking of Rubenstein, he also mentioned yesterday that they have the wherewithal to strengthen this team. In other words, I'm going to spend some money here. And Bradish, they threw a pretty good-sized chunk of money at him. When you look, they've made 3 of those big contracts this year. You can't say that this is a passive owner, No,
and I think fans can't complain. It was always, the Orioles wouldn't spend money under Johnny Angelos, and that was, in fact, the case. But now, under this ownership, you have in the last 11 months, you've had extensions of Boz and Basayo and Bradish, and the big contract to Pete Alonso. I mean, they're not going to give somebody a 10-year, $350 million contract.
But they're not the Pirates either,
Yeah, but I mean, they are now spending basically league average, and for a market like this, which people don't get, that's pretty good. I mean, this is one of the smallest markets in baseball,
definitely,
and they are spending more money than the other small markets in baseball. So I think that they have to, I think people have to be realistic about that. I mean, they can sure criticize Elias. There's a lot to criticize him about, but I think that and the money has been spent, I think, pretty intelligently. And also, I thought last year in the offseason, he did a good job in getting players that can help. I mean, Leody Taveras they got for basically nothing.
Right.
He's been a decent fill-in outfielder. Blaze Alexander until he got hurt. Well, that was a really good trade.
Yeah,
I thought, and the signing of Alonso, I think, was important both on the field and symbolically. And I think at the time fans appreciated that, but the team has not played as well as it should. I mean, they should be playing a little better than this, but. If they're going to play without Rutschman and Basayo for more than another week, that's trouble.
Big trouble. One of the few bright spots that we can bring up, recently, Brandon Young going again today, looking for his 9th win against only 2 losses, facing Bryce Elder. But Brandon Young, nobody expected this out of him, and what a pleasant surprise he's been.
So it's sort of a game of the ages today, the young against the elder.
Yeah.
But I think he's just been terrific. I was contemplating sort of the most valuable, or I'm always contemplating, who's the most valuable Oriole.
Yeah.
They have the MBO award, and right now, 2/3 of the way into the season, this guy is. This guy's right there.
Yeah.
For the most valuable Oriole, he wasn't even supposed to be in the starting rotation, and he only was because you got Bassett hurt and Kramer was hurt, and he stepped right in, and he's just been terrific.
Those are the stories you love, that come from nowhere. So one other thing I wanted to mention about last night that was so disappointing was the crowd. Now, granted, it was Hawaiian shirt night, but that place was rocking the way it used to, and I just hate that big crowd got sent home that disappointed.
Yeah, it's funny because, attendance sort of started to pick up that weekend with Kansas City, right before the break. And I know Buck, Showalter always would tell players, well, the fans are waiting to embrace you. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fans, they want to love the Orioles. They want a winner, and they want to be, they want to be happy. As much complaining as you get to hear on this show, and others. Yeah, but they want the team to do. They want the team to do well, and I understand that. I see that in all the communications that I get. So I think that it's important that people don't go away unhappy, and they have to play well. They have to play well at home, and they've played, I think, a little over 500 ball at home. So I think it's an interesting. It's going to be interesting because they have, they'll probably have another big crowd tonight because it's another Hawaiian shirt day, and then the kids' Hawaiian shirt day on Sunday. Next weekend, the Phillies, who will always draw well. Oh yeah. Plus the Orioles Hall of Fame will have. They'll be honoring Chris Davis next Saturday. I know we'll probably end up talking about that then. But so there are a lot of. They should have some big crowds the next couple of weekends, and the team has to play well in order to get the fans there for the last 2 months of the season.
I agree, because it's getting frustrating, that's for sure. Rich Dubroff, as always, my friend, I appreciate your time. You can find him on BaltimoreBaseball.com. We'll talk next week.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you, Bruce.
There he goes, Rich Dubroff. Loyal as they come, that's for sure. I got a couple of things to talk about after the break. We're going to go back to the phones, too. Warren in Owings Mills is on hold. He's always interesting. You can get in line behind him, 410-583-1057.
Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie. Inside Access. Live on YouTube weekdays 6 till 6. Subscribe for daily shorts right to your phone and never miss what you missed. 1057 The Fan.
BetMGM Sportsbook is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. Pick an area of the strike zone and take your swing. If you get a hit, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet. Just log into your BetMGM Sportsbook account and visit your promotion section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Swing for the Fences every day with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Maryland only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please play responsibly in partnership with MGM National Harbor.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. I went to Giant and got groceries for the week, and I was even able to pick up everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
I get money back on the entire trip.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on groceries, gas, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first trip to Giant.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Roll into summer with a full grocery cart and extra cash back. Download Upside and use promo code CHARM04 to earn an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM04 for an extra $10 cash back. Remember, use promo code CHARM04.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
It's been sunken too deep, and it's become a big part of me. I can't leave your love alone. I just can't leave your love alone.
No, sir. Aaron reaching deep into the old jukebox. We call it sometimes Bruce and Aaron's record party. But there you go. 410-583-1057. I have several friends that are Philadelphia sports fans. Philadelphia sports fans are endlessly entertaining. Let me give you an example. You might remember at Fox 45, we had a news anchor named Jeff Barnes. Jeff and I are very close friends, very close friends. But Jeff is a typical Philadelphia sports fan. And let me give you an example. The Phillies won the World Series like in, I forget, when was it? When they beat Tampa Bay. And so opening day the next year, Jeff stomping around complaining something about the Phillies. I said, Jeff, how can you complain? They just won the World Series. And he goes, Tampa Bay. So I formed an opinion about Philadelphia fans, and that is if you want to make one of them mad, don't say something bad about their team. Say something good about their team. And that'll get them going. The reason I bring all this up is the LeBron James signing yesterday. Very nice coup for the Sixers. They've put together a really good starting five there with LeBron. And my Philly fans were on social media. They were celebrating. They were happy for about 15 minutes. And then it started. Well, he's too old to really help anyway. They're not going anywhere. They say, typical Philadelphia sports fans. You got to love it. 410-583-1057. They're the most unintentionally entertaining sports fan base in the country, bar none. 410-583-1057. Warren in Owings Mills. How you doing, man?
Afternoon, Bruce. How you doing today?
I'm all right. Can't complain.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the LeBron situation, but I called in for the last segment where we were talking about the Orioles playoff team. And, I'm a lifelong Oriole fan since the mid-'60s. Love to see him make the playoffs, but I remember calling your show back in mid-May and saying they were done. I'd seen enough, and I don't think they're going to make it. So I want to do a little math, which I wasn't particularly good at, but this is simple math.
Boy, me either. Okay, go ahead.
The last 2 years, the third wild card teams in the AL had either 86 wins last year and 87 wins the year before last.
Okay.
This year, the AL stinks so badly. Let's say you might be able to get in at 500, maybe even a game or two below that.
Maybe, yeah.
But let's drop back to 85. 85 wins, 3 games above 500. Last night, was the 104th game. So there's 58 games left. In order to get to 85 wins, the Orioles would have to go 35-23. That's 12 games above 500.
Yeah.
They haven't been a game above 500 since, I think, late April.
Right.
So, the odds of doing that are so small. And the only chance, again, is because the AL stinks so badly. And people have been saying, well, one of these teams is going to get hot. One already did, the Red Sox.
Yep.
But I've seen enough on these other teams. I don't think anybody else is going to get hot. Nobody else is going to run off 15 straight games. The Orioles, I'd be, beyond shocked if they came close to that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a pipe dream to make the playoffs. Hopefully, if they decide to be a buyer, they'll do something that'll improve the team next year. Don't do it for this year, but do it next year. Go all in for Mason Miller. Then you'd have him next year and build a team. But I hope they don't try to go all in, and I don't think they will, to do something this year.
Right. I think you're right. I do.
Yeah.
All right, Warren, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Lou. What's going on?
Yeah, hey, Bruce, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Listen, one of my favorite guests is Rich Dubroff.
Yeah.
He's always got some insight and some good knowledge when he comes on your show, so I appreciate you having him on.
There's
There's
a reason why he's on every week.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
All right.
But man, I hope he's wrong about Mike Elias. He seems certain that Mike Elias is going to be back next year, and that the ownership is completely satisfied with him. And I've made this analogy before. Like if you build a house, you got a guy who comes in and he puts the basement and he puts the foundation in, and then they have somebody else come in to actually build the house. Well, Mike Elias, I think he's done a pretty good job building the foundation. The organization does have talent in it. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think he's very good at building the actual house, which is roster construction. I think he's done a poor job at that. And I just think it's time for an experienced GM to come in and in particular would hire, let's say, an old school manager that kind of is maybe a mixture of old school and analytics. But I think
you had one of those and they fired him last year. Brandon Hyde.
Yeah.
You just described Brandon Hyde.
Yeah, but also, Bruce, if you're going to contend or you're going to say you're contending for a World Series, you cannot bring in a rookie manager and have him learn on the job. That is just not good management on the part of the GM. I think you have to bring, and I'm just using a name here. I'm not saying in particular, but a Buck Showalter type, not particularly him, but a guy that's been around, that doesn't take any stuff, that makes the players play sound fundamental baseball, and can get the job done. So and summing up, I just hope Rich is wrong about Elias. I believe he probably will be back next year. And if that's the case, I think we're just in for more of what we've seen the past couple of years.
All right,
and I
Lou.
appreciate you taking my call.
Sure thing. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Roberto Mike. And before we start, Mike, I was overwhelmed by that gift you got me last week. He made me a big old poster of a legendary soul concert at Cars Beach in Annapolis and Otis Redding and all that. Now, I love it. My wife doesn't. Soon as I walked in the house with it, I got that where in the hell are you going to hang that look. So it's all right. I'll deal with that.
Man cave, so I didn't think it was being a problem because she had a man cave or whatever. But
well, I kind of do have a man cave, but it's got to be approved, Just saying.
Okay. Yeah, Bruce, I'm kind of optimistic about the Orioles. I mean, they're playing a lot better, except for the defensive last week. They're really playing they're really playing a lot better. And I don't think it's improbable for them to go 12 games over 500. I know they lost last night and all, but like I said, they can cut down the defensive losses. They showed a lot of nice. They can't. They came back last night. I'm a little bit optimistic.
They got the home run to go ahead, and then that four runs and the extra innings. That's just you're not going to beat anybody playing like that. And it's just.
I left. I was in the game. I had left before that. I didn't see the home run.
Well, good for you. Hey, that's good timing on your part. You should have bought a lottery ticket on the way home. That was a good decision.
Yeah.
All right.
They're a lot better. They're playing a lot better. I think they hit round bottom already. I think they'll be all right.
Boy, I hope you're right. I do. Mike, thanks again for the poster. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, too. You got to see this thing. It's gorgeous, But Mike is in the minority. I don't think any of us are feeling necessarily positive right now. I think during the 7-game winning streak, I think a lot of us got happy. It's like when you're in the casino playing blackjack and you win 3 or 4 hands in a row and you're like, I'm unbeatable. Watch that. And then you lose like 50 in a row and you got to go hit your credit card, the ATM, and the whole nine. It's frustrating. But Ravens veterans should be in. They're supposed to be in by Tuesday. The rookies reported yesterday. So we're going to start having actual training camp going on. So that'll give us something else to talk about, and I'm really ready. Now, having said that, let me remind you of last year. The Orioles unexpectedly were playing like crap, and we're all like, okay, all right, it's time for Ravens. Oh, because they're gonna change everything. They're gonna make us feel better about everything. And then guess what happened? So while I'm happy they're going to be on the field, and I'm excited that we're going to see actual football again. I'm not looking for them to throw me an emotional life preserver like I did last year because, we all know how that ended up, right? All right, that's it for hour number 1. Coming up next hour, Kevin Ostreicher, Locked On Ravens, is going to join us, and we're going to get the scene set, so to speak, for training camp, which is going to be in full bore next week. That's coming up, 410-583-1057. I'd love to talk to you. Give me a call. Bruce Cunningham Show continues.
The teams you grew up with
Ravens are world champions.
Are the ones you still love today. 105.7 The Fan.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars. Because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Hey, it's Rob Long with Vinny Steele, CEO of Your Home Show Guarantee Realty. Vinny, I really love the story you were just telling me about one of your customers using your Fix It to Sell program.
Yeah, Rob, it's been a game changer. We just helped the Martinez family who needed to sell their mother's home to help fund her retirement, so getting every dollar possible was really important. They had a quote from a contractor planning on doing significant renovations to the home. I was able to cut out parts of the bid that would not yield a good return. We used our own contractors for less than half of the original bid. We managed all the contractors and timelines for a stress-free experience. We're getting ready to close tomorrow for 100% of the list price, which was the highest ever sold in that community.
That is such a great example for everyone wanting to get the most money possible. So, if that's you, call or text my friend Vinny Steele at 410-793-1801. That's 410-793-1801, or visit VinnySteo.com. That's VinnySteo.com.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Great moments in sports.
Today, a pitcher is happy if he can pitch a single no-hitter in his entire career. Nolan Ryan, on the other hand, did it a record 7 times, 3 times more than any other pitcher. Lucky number 7 came on May 1st in 1991. The Toronto Blue Jays versus the Texas Rangers. Ryan was 44 at the time.
Here comes 44-year-old Nolan Ryan, who still can throw in the 90s. Last time out, he threw over 130 pitches. There was some question as to whether he would take his turn tonight.
He didn't warm up well. His shoulder, arm, and back were all sore. He even warned the pitching coach that he didn't think he'll be out there for very long. Despite feeling horrible before the game, things turned around in the first inning, and his pitching was unstoppable.
Nolan Ryan here in the 9th inning, looking for a career 7th no-hitter. That's it! Number 7 is in the mix. The remarkable Ryan has done it again.
His teammates hoisted him on their shoulders and carried him off the field. Nolan had just made baseball history.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
I sail an ocean, unsettled ocean, through restful waters and deep commotion, often frightened, unenlightened. Sail on, sail on, sail on.
All right. Yes, sir. Some dark period Beach Boys. After they had been very, very successful by the late 60s, nobody cared. This album came out called Holland, had great songs on it. Nobody played it. But Sail On Sailor, that's a good pick. A couple of NFL notes that I want to throw out before we get too deep into this show. It just came out just about 2 minutes after we went on the air. But listen to this. Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, suffered significant injuries in a car crash during a summer break that leave him limited as the team opens training camp. He broke his nose, 3 ribs, his hand, needed more than 40 stitches in his face, and a severe concussion during a July 14th car crash when he collided with an SUV during his home. He's going to be out there, but he's going to be limited, and he's going to be banged up. And this happened July 14th, and it's just being revealed today. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I'm just bringing you the news that Kyle Shanahan's starting the season maybe on the PUP list, huh? You never know. Now, this one to me is even more interesting. If you're an NFL fan, you know about the Packers and the fact that it's a community-owned team. You know, people own shares in the Green Bay Packers. Well, what that means is you don't have a billionaire approving major ticket items. And their president and CEO, which is elected, by the way, by the shareholders, this is a quote. He said, "It's like other teams have access to this ATM machine that we just don't have right now." They reported an opening loss for the first time since the 1990 fiscal year. They had $132.5 million in net income. It's because they got 103.6 in non-operating revenues from the NFL. It's crazy that each of the NFL's 32 teams received $453.2 million from the league TV contract last year. That $453 million, that was the number. But it kind of makes you wonder if this thought of a franchise being community-owned and operating the way they do, if that's sustainable going into the future. Now, most of you who are Packer fans will say, well, absolutely. And I like the idea. I like the idea of a community-owned team. I do. But the way this game is played now, you just got to wonder if that's realistic anymore. You know, just something to put in the back of your mind and think about. Or even if you're driving, that's a good thing to think about while you're driving because, you know, you got a lot of time in the car. But can they survive operating the way they do? Interesting. 410-583-1057. Orioles back at it tonight after that soul crusher last night. I like their chances a little better tonight, and I'll tell you why. Young Brandon Young is on the mound. The right-hander, 8-2, 3.25 ERA. I won't say he wasn't expected to be on the roster at the end of spring training, but he wasn't supposed to be in a starting rotation, and he certainly wasn't expected to be 8-2. I'd say he's the brightest spot on the Baltimore Orioles this year. And a team that really needs some bright spots. So he's going tonight. Game time 7:05. Bryce Elder goes for Atlanta, 6-6, 4.06 ERA. You just got to keep playing. You know, that's really the only choice you have. I'm that one last night hurt about as bad as any have hurt this year. That one just boy. Especially, don't get me started. 410-583-1057. Mike in Pasadena, what's on your mind?
Hey, how are you, Bruce?
I'm good.
Very good. Hey, I have a question for you.
All right.
This has been a while back, but I remember me and my son used to go up to a restaurant, and you and Maddie had an afternoon show.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, what was the name of the restaurant?
Was it Alonzo's?
Alonzo's. That was it. Yeah, I remember they had the biggest hamburger.
They still do. They got those gigantic burgers. They do.
Oh my gosh! Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there.
Oh.
In fact, that whole neighborhood's called Alonzoville because it's been there so long.
Really?
But the funny thing about that, Maddie and I always did it from a restaurant, and Maddie always wanted to eat. So the waitress would come by before the show and take his order, and he always ordered fried calamari. He loved fried calamari.
Oh, wow.
The calamari would always hit the table about 15 minutes into the show, and I'd lose him. I'd lose him for 20 minutes. People would call in and want to talk to him. I'd say, he can't talk. The calamari's here. But we had so much fun doing that. We really did.
Oh, I do remember that so well. How long has Tom been gone?
I think it's been about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You two together were absolutely wonderful together. I loved listening to both of you.
Well, we had so many adventures, especially on the road, between the Stallions and then the Ravens. There's so many stories to tell, and the hard part was trying to pick the ones we couldn't tell because they were the funniest.
Okay, a question about the Orioles.
Yeah.
They have a catcher in the minors who they just drafted, I believe, last year. Last name Irish.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
How far away do you think he is from the big leagues?
I'm glad you asked that because he's actually in the news today. I think his season's over.
Oh no!
Yeah, let me find this thing. He's been playing pretty well, and they were kind of excited about his future. But let me find it here. Let's see. Where was it? Here it is. Ike Irish tore his meniscus.
Oh dear!
Going to miss the rest of the season. At Frederick, he had a hell of a season. He did.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking. Okay, now this is a wild trade idea. Luis Arias for the Giants. I know the Red Sox have their eyes on him for second base, and I would hate to see the Red Sox get him. What do you think about a trade? We get Arias from the Giants, and we send them Holiday and Adley. That's a lot, but and I know Arias is a free agent, but boy, if we could get him, put him at the top of the lineup, I think it might. Some of the other guys have guys on base consistently.
I'm going to tell you the truth. If a 21-year-old Hank Aaron walked onto the field, I ain't trading those two for him. Seriously, what message are you sending when you do that? What kind of message are you sending to the fans who you're still trying to win back? That's an awful lot to give up. Now, Arias is a great player. Don't get me wrong, but man, that's a truckload. See,
I was going to say if Irish would be somewhat ready to come up next year as a backup.
You don't want him to be a backup, though. I mean, a young player like that, you want him to play every day. You'd want him down in Norfolk,
Well, that's true. I mean, obviously, Basayo is going to be your number one catcher if we get rid of Adley. I know it's given up a lot, but again, it's one of those situations where you hate to see the Red Sox get somebody like that. The way they're playing right now and putting him in the lineup, they might be really hard to catch.
I know. All right, Mike, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. 410-583-1057. I don't know that I'm trading Adley and Holiday combined for anybody. People are down on Holiday. Adley didn't need to be getting hurt as much as he is this year. I'm just saying that because we had reached a consensus, we meaning fans and media, that he would be the one that you extend. He'd be the one that you sign long term. And as far as Jackson Holiday, look, he still hadn't blown my skirt up. He hasn't. And I got curious, and I looked back at the list of number 1 overall picks over the years. You should do that. You should Google that. You'd be surprised at how few of them really went on to do a whole lot. It's interesting. Rashawn, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Bruce?
Yeah, just, getting through the day.
Yeah, man. I don't know what that guy talking about, man. Trading Adley.
And Holiday?
Holiday? No, not at all. Now, if he said maybe trade Adley and Trevor Rogers, like make them available out there, which I understand the probably Orioles all listening to the office, but if some team this year feel like they just, right there and, and they wouldn't have throw their chips on the table.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, Rashawn, there's at least 5 or 6 teams that are in contention that would love to have Trevor Rogers.
Exactly. So I will definitely do that. Because I don't see them. They trying to sign him. I don't know.
I hear you, though. I hear you. But look, there's not much of the season left. Okay, Rogers' contract is up at the end of the season. How much is a team that's interested in him going to realistically give up, given those circumstances? You know what I mean?
Well, if they feel like, a World Series is worth it, then a team will sacrifice that. You got teams out there like the Dodgers that do stuff like that all the time. It's like they buy whoever they want, So I'm quite sure. I know the Dodgers don't even got a good farm system anymore because they just trade all they, good pieces away to get get everybody one around the league. So I'm quite sure next week around this time we'll be talking about them getting Scooble. It's just like the rich keep getting richer and everything. So they just creating a dynasty out there, and
I tell you what, Rashawn, this strike this lockout that we're about to deal with next year, it's 100% because of that. This is why the owners want a salary cap, and the players, they don't want it, and that's what this whole thing's going to be about.
Yeah, that's going to suck, man. Hopefully they can come to something, man. I don't want to see, I can't live without baseball next year, but business is business.
Get ready. I remember the last time they had the strike, that's when we got the Baltimore Stallions. You remember that, 94?
Oh, yep. Definitely remember that.
That really helped them.
What was the quarterback? Ham, right?
Tracy Ham. Yeah.
Tracy Ham, yeah. I remember that, going to the Stallions games right across the street from my Waverly Elementary School, yeah.
We always circle back to that, don't we?
No, always circle back. Good times, man. But Bruce, last night, real quick, man, I just knew we had that game last night when bases was loaded and Taylor Ward is at bat and the count is 3-0. I was like, we got this, man. He got plate discipline. He walks a lot, man, but man, such a tough loss. Last night.
We've had a bunch of them to swallow this year. We really have. But I'm telling you, last night would be in my top 3.
Yes, man. Just as I was getting over the loss last week in Boston, that game 1 in Boston, now this one. But hopefully we got our real ace on the mound tonight, Brandon Young, so he can continue being on his heater.
And I would tell you something else, Rashawn. They've shown that they're willing to do some contract extensions. I might be looking real hard at him at the end of this year.
Definitely, but he's under team control for 5 years.
I think so.
We don't got to do nothing. Yeah, so we got to, man. That's the type of building we need to do, just like how the Devil Rays do, or the Rays. Like they don't pay people. They just they let them play out their contract and just
wave bye-bye.
Wave bye-bye. So team control. But I definitely keep Brandon Young around and see what Cade Povich. I know Cade Povich is back up, so I'm interested to see how he's going to pan out.
Well, I tell you what, they need help in the bullpen, and he would certainly provide that. Rashawn, I got to hit a break, man. Thanks for the call.
Man.
I appreciate it.
Bruce.
All right, coming up, we're going to leave the phones open. We got a lot of traffic today. I love talking to you. Stick around. Bruce Cunningham Show continues.
Beginning July 29th, your afternoons just got a whole lot better. Former Raven and Super Bowl 35 champion Femi Ayanbadejo joins Tim Barbalace and Ken Weinman to bring you The Final Drive. Weekdays from 2 to 6. Femi, Ken, and Tim break down the teams you love with the analysis you need. The Final Drive, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. 105.7 The Fan.
Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. I went to Giant and got groceries for the week, and I was even able to pick up everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
I get money back on the entire trip.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on groceries, gas, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first trip to Giant.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Roll into summer with a full grocery cart and extra cash back. Download Upside and use promo code CHARM04 to earn an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM04 for an extra $10 cash back. Remember, use promo code CHARM04.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
BetMGM Sportsbook is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. Pick an area of the strike zone and take your swing. If you get a hit, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet. Just log into your BetMGM Sportsbook account and visit your promotion section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Swing for the Fences every day with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Maryland only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please play responsibly in partnership with MGM National Harbor. The American Red Cross has declared an emergency blood shortage. Summer blood donations are far lower than needed as hospitals work to help accident victims, patients fighting cancer, those with chronic blood disorders, and others. You can help make sure patients across the country receive life-saving medical treatments. Make an appointment today to donate. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Helping your inner circle prepare for emergencies can start in many ways. Put together an emergency kit with Wipewall. Create a family communication plan with your tita. Remind Bai to keep a backup battery charged. It all starts with a simple step, telling those you care about to be ready for the worst. So start a conversation and plan for emergencies together. Get more tips at ready.gov/start. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Oh, yeah. Let's just play music today. You want to? Tower of Power. You ought to be. Oh, man. That's too bad. That's too bad. I could let that one play. That's for sure. You know what surprised me today? Nobody wanted to talk about the Ravens cutting Diego Pavia. I have some thoughts on that. You know, he was undrafted, and he has a bad reputation. He's 24 years old. But he supercharged Vanderbilt last year. He showed the world, and Vanderbilt's not an easy place to win. It really, you know, it's the only private school in that damn conference. It's hard to win at Vanderbilt, and he won games there. As far as the Ravens go, yeah, they're going to bring him in. Yeah. I mean, there was no guarantee he was going to make the team. Bring him in, look at him in minicamp and everything, and they made their decision. I'm surprised more of you hadn't talked about that. I am. I didn't think he was going to make the team anyway. But I'm surprised. 410-583-1057. Let's go back to the phones. Kevin in Pasadena, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce. Last night watching Jorge Mateo flash the glove made me get on ChatGPT and, just kind of dig into how insufferable the Orioles infield is and, extrapolate it for, the same amount of games that Gunnar Henderson has played. Jorge Mateo would have committed like an error and a half, and he would be on average for 3 errors where Gunnar already has 12. And it's just...
Yeah, but you know what? I hear what you're saying, but can you realistically say that you would set Gunnar down in favor of him?
Well, the defense is compounding, right? So you have a weak link in the infield defense, and it just feeds upon itself. Yeah. And, last night it was, the second baseman's turn to gaff up a play. And just, so I looked at it a little further, and the Orioles, 70% of the time commit more errors than the opposing team.
Oh, yeah.
And you get lucky some of the times, but you don't get lucky all of the times. No. And that's not the recipe for winning baseball.
And here's the thing, about Holiday, and somebody needs to ask this question publicly. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. Is he a second baseman? I mean,
no, he's a left fielder, probably.
He's a shortstop, naturally. They were just hoping, that's the whole thing about Elias building his team. I think they were hoping for a lot of things. They were hoping he could make the transition to third, or second. They were hoping this. You don't win games based on hope, Yeah,
no, certainly. And it's just, it's a frustrating team because you can see the promise, and when things are going right, they're exquisite to watch, but they more often in a way just get in the way of their own selves. And
we go to bed mad just about every night.
That's it, man.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. It ain't no fun, is it? No, it's not. Let's go to Jonathan in Essex. Jonathan, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Bruce? First thing people got to realize about Holiday and Gunnar. Remember, everybody always want, because Gunnar is now, everybody want to think Gunner's their pick. Gunnar was just keeping that seat warm for Holiday. And the plans were for Holiday to come up to be the shortstop, and Gunnar was going to third. But ever since, everybody's forgotten about that. They don't understand that. But that was the original plan. And the Pavia thing about the NFL thing, Bruce.
Yeah.
And put it like this. Like they said, this guy, he might have had a potential talent, and he might have made the team. It's either two things, and it's my opinion. Either he couldn't pick the playbook up, he didn't pick the playbook up well, and plus the squeeze wasn't worth the juice. He wanted to be treated like he was a second or first round draft pick, and he wasn't.
No,
you
go into that room, you go into that quarterback room, and there's one star in there, and he wears number 8.
Yeah, because they said something about he wanted like requested some kind of maybe a press conference when he got there. Like, who are you? But that's
I'm going to tell you this about Pavi. I'm going to tell you this about him right now. He's got CFL written all over him. I think he could go up there and be a big star with his style of play,
Yeah, they can't do that. But as far as with the Orioles, man, I'm telling you, they can't win the big game. And for certain reasons, something happens. And that trade, that's what I would have really called about, Bruce. I know you didn't. I would. I'd trade Adley and Jackson, because guess what? They pretty much can show you what they are. Only person you'd be losing something for me is Adley. Adley's going to be a star, plain and simple.
Well, who are you going to get if you trade those two? Ohtani?
I'm just saying that guy he was saying. Nah, they're not worth that. No, I guarantee you this. Let me ask you this, Bruce. Would you trade? Let me ask you 2 questions.
All right.
Would you trade Adley and Jackson Holiday right now for Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yes.
All right, then. So I ain't going to ask you the second question because you got the first one. I appreciate that.
All right, Jonathan. See you later, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd make that trade, of course. Robbie in Elkton, what's going on?
What's happening, buddy? Let me get you on speaker.
Yeah.
Hey, that owner's made it quite clear that he's ready to spend some money.
Yeah. Well, he has. He has.
He has spent some money, but he's ready, but he said on top of it, he's ready to spend more.
Yeah.
So we need to go after Trevor Rogers. That'd be crazy to let him walk.
You know what? I'm starting to think that might not be the craziest thing. I mean, they are throwing money around, and he did say yesterday, Rubenstein say, we've got the resources. We're going to spend some money. Why? Yeah, that'd be a great one to spend it on. The only thing is, I'm just so wary about throwing a lot of money at pitchers. So many things can go wrong.
Oh, I know.
But Rogers has earned it. I mean, you got no argument from me there.
Yeah. Well, and I'm saying, we talked a couple weeks ago, Mike Elias, to me, is going to be an all-out buyer at the trade deadline because he's trying to buy his job.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, he got a nice little vote of confidence yesterday in public from his owner, and I'm sure he needed to hear that. Hey, Robbie, I got to hit a break, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it very much. Kevin Ostreicher going to join me. We're going to talk some Ravens. That's coming up next. Stick around.
What happens next happens here. Baltimore Sports Radio.
That ball is out of here.
105.7 The Fan.
Your home will sell guaranteed. Hire the Lee Tessier team with eXp Realty. If Lee can't find you a buyer, he'll buy it himself. LeeTessier.com.
If you're selling your home, don't make it hard. Just call Tessier.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage. Roadside assistance for breakdowns. Bill negotiation to help lower your bills. Identity theft aid for peace of mind. And you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Modelo Especial, a full-flavored golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste from start to finish. Brewed with time, effort, and determination to get the balance just right. Because when a beer is made right, you can feel it. Modelo Especial, the model for everyday beer. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support. All in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Most of us are one good deal away from finally replacing that worn-out rug, fixing up the backyard, or getting the bedroom we actually want. Good news, that deal's almost here. Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every... Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. I went to Giant and got groceries for the week, and I was even able to pick up everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
I get money back on the entire trip.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on groceries, gas, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first trip to Giant.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Roll into summer with a full grocery cart and extra cash back. Download Upside and use promo code CHARM04 to earn an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM04 for an extra $10 cash back. Remember, use promo code CHARM04.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Great moments in sports. Michael Jordan is considered one of, if not the best player to ever grace the courts of the NBA. His final game, Game 6 in the finals against the Utah Jazz, was TV's highest-rated game in all of NBA history. In the final moments of the game, with under 42 seconds remaining, the Bulls were trailing the Utah Jazz 83-86. After a timeout, Jordan got the inbound pass and drove to the hoop for a quick layup over several defenders, making the score 85-86. In a clutch play, Jordan stole the ball from an unsuspecting Karl Malone and slowly dribbled up court.
Championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. And Michael pulls up and buries the shot to give him a 1-point lead. That may have been, who knows what will unfold in the next several months, but that may have been the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA.
Once again, Jordan was voted the Finals MVP for a record 6th time.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Back. Bruce Cunningham Show on a beautiful Saturday in Baltimore. Man, oh man, is it nice. You know, we've been really battered by the weather lately. But this last couple of days, and it's supposed to last all through the weekend, this is magnificent. You know, we don't normally get days like this in the summertime, you know, with the low humidity and all of this. In fact, I'll go out on a limb. We probably get 5 or 6 days like this a year, you know. But enjoy it while you can. With me, being an old retired guy, the things that my life revolves around, I check the weather report all the time. You know why? To see which days I can cut the grass and it won't kill me. You know, man, I snuck it in there Monday like a champ. I really did. Now I'm looking at the next 5 to 7 days trying to figure out where I might drop it in. Tomorrow's a possibility. You know, not that you care, but it just shows you how your life changes. Like, before I retired from Fox 45, I would sit down and think, okay, here's like 9 different things that I got to do in 15 minutes, you know, and now it's like, well, let me figure out what days I can cut the grass and it won't kill me, you know. 410-583-1057 is the number. We're chasing down Kevin Ostreicher. He works so hard that sometimes it's hard to find him, but we'll get him. Don't worry. In the meantime, it's you and me. We didn't get too deeply into the LeBron James thing. He did say that Philadelphia is going to be his last stop. And you know, he's had a very distinguished career. He's had a lot of controversy wherever he went and whatever he did. And I don't understand that. I don't think I ever quite will. I know people were rubbed the wrong way when he went to Miami. Going to take my talents to South Beach. I know he wishes he had those words back. But he's one of the all-time greats. And for some reason, a whole lot of people just can't stand him. I hope he knows what he's stepping into up there in Philly. That is not an easy town to play in. You know, those fans are rabid, as I was telling you earlier. This is serious, big-time stuff. And their starting 5 looks great, you know, but just understand that it's not LeBron from 2016. It's LeBron from 2026. And we're not necessarily talking about the same thing there. But the fact that it brought so much attention, you know, the LeBron watch, you know, and all this. He's had a curious career in that regard. He's not had a normal career yet. He's one of the most normal people you run across. You know, he's done great things. He's made a lot of money, but he's done great things with it. You know, he's got his own high school that kids, they attend without tuition, and just about all of them go on to college, which, by the way, he also pays for. Yet people just can't stand him. A lot of people, for some reason. So who knows? It's just frustrating. That's all. It's very, very frustrating. Because I think he's a great player. I think he's a pretty good person based on everything I know. And people just don't want to like him. It's crazy. As Ravens camp gets ready to open, I almost says fixing to open. That's one thing I spent all that time in the Deep South. I never picked up fixing. I latched on to y'all pretty quick, but not fixing. With camp getting ready to open, you're looking for storylines here. The obvious storyline during this whole summer has been the center position. They signed Ethan Posich, and he's really good when he's healthy, but he's coming off an Achilles tear. And you know what your Achilles is, and you know what a serious injury that is. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Terrell Suggs had one when he was here. I haven't heard that he passed his physical, but the fact that he's on the roster for training camp, I think, would indicate that he did pass the physical. But if he's solving your problem, if he's filling your hole there at center, I would rather he's not coming off an Achilles. But you take who you can get. I want that position filled. I want that question answered. Because, frankly, it's one of the few questions I have about this roster going in. Matabike, we've gone over this ad infinitum with Matabike. Any information about his injury or his comeback has to come from him. HIPAA laws, we talk about it way too much. It used to be you didn't have to do that. You could just, he's got to decide what he's going to say and when he's going to say it. And there's a lot of people waiting for good news. But he really hadn't said a word. And I don't know that he's going to be on the field this week. I wouldn't think so. The PUP list is going to come out this week, and we'll find out more then. And also about Posich, because I want those two questions answered. I really do. I also am going to be looking with great interest at what this offense is going to look like. Declan Doyle, the young offensive coordinator, was the hot property. A lot of teams wanted him. But the hot property that other teams wanted, who was hired as head coach here, Jesse Minter, all the way. He had his eye on Declan Doyle all the way. He's got that kind of reputation. Now, he's got a generational talent to work with. Somebody that can do anything you can draw up, Lamar can pull that play off. It just remains to be seen what that's going to look like. I'm really pointing towards these scrimmages that they're going to have with these two scrimmages with other teams in August, because I want that question answered. I want to see what this thing's going to look like. Doyle comes in with a whole bunch of ideas, and Doyle has a great talent to work with. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like coming out the other end, because I really think it kind of breaks down to that. Also, I had a caller earlier talking about a veteran receiver. I want you to watch Jacoby Lane with an open mind. He's third-round pick. Des Bryant called him the steal of the draft, and I've heard nothing but good things about him, and they're going to give him every chance to be successful. So that would be another name to keep an eye out for as training camp opens. I was talking to Wendy the other day, my wife, and when this time of year would come around, I was always torn because I was really excited, that football was starting back up. But then on the practical side, I said, oh, no. It's so hot out there. And we would go just about every day. And here's why I'm whining about it. Because a normal person would go to a training camp practice and sweat like he's in the Amazon and then go home and do what? Take a shower. Well, I had to go straight to Fox 45 and work a full day after I'd been out there sweating all day. And there was a shower at Fox 45. But let me just put it to you this way. I had done way too many evil things to people that work there to even think about taking a shower in that building. Now, there's all kinds of bad stuff that could happen, and all of it would happen to me. So I used to really dread that. And then when John Harbaugh came in, you couldn't even wear flip-flops out there anymore. I used to take pride in the flip-flop pattern that the sun would burn into my foot, And then he decreed no more flip-flops and then black sneakers. And I don't know, it just hadn't been fun since then. You know, but I don't miss going out there and dying every day because it's tough. And you know, around here, as long as the Chesapeake Bay's sitting there, we're going to have high humidity. It's just nowhere for it to go. You know, it's just going to sit on us. And August out there, at least now, you know, it's only one practice a day. The first couple of years, I had Wally Williams on here a couple of weeks ago, you'll remember, and he said Ted Marchbrody used to run 3-a-day practices. 3-a-days. 2-a-days were hard enough, but 3-a-days, those days are long gone. But it's no joke out there in the weather. And especially when you're a young guy and your eyes are wide as dinner plates and you're trying to make some kind of, you know, impression on somebody and put together a career in the National Football League, but you're dealing with all this heat. I guess you put it out of your mind. You know, it's unbearable. It really is. And my hat's off to those guys. I remember when I was playing in high school. I mean, just August 10th in Virginia. August 10th, that's when you started. August 10th. That would be a mantra in my head all summer. Yeah, you might be having fun now, but August 10th, you know. So you'd have the morning practice and you'd throw up and go home and take a nap and wake up and throw up again and then go out to afternoon practice and throw up certainly and then come home and try to eat something and then collapse in bed, and that was your life. That's why a lot of guys don't pursue football. 410-583-1057. The lines are filling up. We're going to go back to the phones, talk to every one of you coming up. Stick around, everybody.
Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie. Inside Access. Live on YouTube weekdays 6 till 6. Search Baltimore 1057 The Fan. Subscribe for daily shorts right to your phone and never miss what you missed. 1057 The Fan.
Hey, it's Vinny Serrano. When I'm upgrading my kitchen or prepping for the summer heat, Town Appliance is the only place I go. They carry top brands like GE, Cafe, Monogram, and more. Whether you need a new air conditioner, outdoor fridge, ice maker, or luxury appliance, they have you covered with flexible financing. Head to their showroom right off Reisterstown Road in Owings Mills. Mayor, they're going to take great care of you. Visit the showroom. Call, text, or visit townappliance.com today.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When the heat is on, your air conditioner has to work harder than ever. If it's blowing warm air, making strange noises, or struggling to keep up, don't wait for a breakdown. Call FH Fur for fast, reliable AC service and repairs. And if it's time for a replacement, now's the time to upgrade. As FH Fur celebrates 45 years, get 0% financing for 72 months on a qualifying new system purchase. Plus, a free Enviro Air indoor air quality 5-inch filter.
877-GO-FUR. FHFur.com.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, $1 small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Bruce Cunningham Show. On Sports Radio 1057 The Fan.
Yes, sir.
I miss you, baby.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Baltimore. A lot of you tell me, I listen to you when I cut the grass, and I have that picture in my head with this kind of weather. A lot of you are out there right now. And by the way, since I brought it up last segment as far as cutting the grass, I sat down. I only have to do it 6 more times. 6 more times. So all of you who are faced with yard work, just keep that in mind. 6 more cuts and you're done. I don't cut after the middle of September, and you shouldn't either. 410-583-1057. Enough home hints. Let's go to Joe in Woodbury. Joe, what's going on?
Well, what's going on, man? I just got back from Keuka Park, New York. You ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Go visit, man.
well.
It got a nice big lake up there and everything.
Okay.
It's up on a mountain. But anyway, I'm calling because I heard a couple of your callers talk. I think that was my boy Jonathan talk about trading Adley and Jackson, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I think I'd rather keep them and get rid of Henderson because, I'm just remembering, the talk about him was so great. I know he was the rookie of the year, but to me, it reminds me of that word outlier, and I didn't know what it was until I started seeing what outlier is. So, because I'm just thinking of how he may not help us do much winning, but he's showing up as helping us doing much losing with these errors. Errors are one thing that you overcome them like a penalty in football or a foul in basketball and stuff like that. But when they cost you the game, that just tears me up. And I know Mateo was never a hitter and didn't get on base, but to me, man, to me, Mateo was looking like Mark Belanger.
You know what? They didn't have a spot. They didn't have a spot for him. That was the problem.
I know. But all I'm saying is
before these injuries, though, you had a whole bunch of infielder there. You had to find places for. So I kind of understand the mood. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I was just telling. I didn't talk to you, so I'm just telling. Like I told Bob, and I'm saying, our defense is really hurting us. That's why the games we're behind, because certain things we overcome. But it's hard to overcome when your defense bad. I mean, you remember what the Ravens was like when they got here. The Ravens with Vinny Testaverde,
Michael Jackson.
Alexander. Man, we could put up 33 points a game.
Easy.
But we gave up 35 to 40, Bruce.
Joe, I tell people all the time, that 96 season, every single game that year was 41 to 38.
Yes, it was. Every game, Bruce, it was. And it wasn't until the defense of our Ravens got good.
Right.
We didn't need a lot of offense.
Right.
We could kick 4 field goals, win a game. Sometimes I think we might have won 9-3. I'm not sure. 6-3. But to me, I told people in every sport, defense matters. Even though they want to go to the offensive side because it's more exciting.
Any sport, defense matters. Defense, and I tell you something, we all just got finished watching the World Cup. I watched a lot of soccer this summer, probably more than I ever have. Boy, you talk about a defensively dominated game. It's nothing but defense, soccer, And
I tell people, hey, it's one thing to see somebody get dunked on, but it's another thing to see somebody block your dunk. That's what I'm saying. It's another thing for you to cross somebody up with a crossover dribble, but it's another thing for somebody to pick your pocket.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Defense to me rules in every sport.
I agree.
So as far as who they should trade, hey, man, I'm just saying, hey, defense costed that other game against Barnes. So what, we have 4 errors, Bruce?
Yeah.
So that's all I called to talk about.
All right, Joe.
Hear your voice, and I'm going to go back to jamming to the sounds. Whoever's playing the music, they're doing a good job. Take care, Bruce.
Good to hear from you, Joe. Let's go to Bill in Bayview. Bill, what's going on?
Hi, Bruce.
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call. I haven't heard your whole show, but I hadn't heard anybody commenting on the manager of the Orioles. I can't. I mean, are we the training ground for managers? Because I don't think he makes a move that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
I've never been on the managers. I grew up with a guy that used to harp on Weaver, and I thought, what are you, crazy? and he can't win the game, but
the background on the hire, Cleveland Guardians, they had a couple of really good years with not a high payroll, sort of like the way the Rays do it. Well, he was the right-hand guy there in Cleveland, and they thought maybe that magic will travel. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see him get his butt thrown out of a game. That might.
Absolutely.
That
he
might.
has no life. He has nothing. I'm sorry. I put it in.
No, that's all right.
I mean, he had a lesson right in front of him in the ninth inning. They walked Gunnar, and they didn't walk Gunnar because they were afraid of Gunnar. In fact, they probably shouldn't have walked him because he probably would have struck out.
I was surprised that they walked somebody to get to Gunnar. You know.
Well, but they. I give everybody that you got to play at every base. That's the percentage move. It wasn't that this guy had 27 home runs and all that kind of stuff. It's Olsen. He's got to be walked in that situation. They were already down 1 run, and they had 2 outs.
Yeah.
You don't pitch to him and then you walk him and pitch to the next batter.
It's hard
and
to
then
watch.
the other thing with the, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm starting to rant.
The other thing. Go ahead.
The other thing is you take a guy out that's pitching well because your bullpen is rested. I'm 81 years old, and I have been with the Orioles forever.
Yeah, I feel
I
bad
have
for
never
you.
heard of anything like that before.
I hear you, Bill.
I mean, I'm sure there's rested people and on that, but a lot of times when they're tired, they pitch better.
All right, Bill, great call. I understand your frustration. You speak for a lot of people. Joe in Arbutus, what's up?
How you doing, Bruce?
All right.
I'm a transplanted, one of them entertaining Philadelphia fans. I grew up, I was born and raised in Philly, and 50 years ago here, I was the new kid in town.
Yeah, hey, it's not easy to play sports up there. You know, it really isn't. I got another story I didn't tell. That I'll tell you now since you brought it up. During that same time period, I had a producer at Fox 45 named Vince Villani, big Philadelphia fan. We sat there after the Phillies won the World Series. We sat there and we watched the pennant go up, and we watched all the players getting their rings and everything. Then the game started. First pitch of the season was a strike. Second pitch was a ball. Vince turns to me and goes, "Here we go. Second pitch of the season." You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. That's why I have 2 ulcers, one from Philadelphia and one from Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'm a Phillies fan and an Orioles fan, an Eagles fan and a Ravens fan.
Okay.
When at the 83 World Series, I had an Orioles hat and a Phillies shirt. Eagles-Ravens game, same thing.
Wow.
A Ravens hat and an Eagles shirt. And I got 4 kids. 2 of them were born and raised in Philly and 2 of them in Baltimore. And every 4 years, they go to the game together, and they actually have a trophy for the winner of the Ravens-Eagles game.
That's great.
That one holds for 4 years. So it's pretty cool.
Hey, well, next weekend they're coming into Camden Yards, you know.
Yeah.
You ought to get over there.
Well, I'm 79. It must be old guy's hour. I've come up from my man cave. I sit in the living room now with my wife, but I love my picture-in-picture. So on half the screen, I had my ulcer last night watching the Orioles game, and on my computer, my other ulcer watching the Phillies lose 1-0 to the Yankees. And I'm not a diehard fan, but what the heck? There's nothing else to do.
That's it. There you go. Hey, man.
One other story.
Go ahead.
When I was a kid, my brother's 5 years older than me. Every Christmas and Thanksgiving, the Celtics would come to town.
Right.
And my older brother would take me to the game.
Nice.
I saw Wilt Chamberlain take down 55 rebounds off the Celtics.
You know, thanks for the call. You know, when people don't bring up Wilt enough when they talk about all-time greats in the NBA. Do you know that man averaged 50 points and 30 rebounds a season? Look it up. It's true. Tom and Rising Sun, we lost you earlier, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, buddy. How you been?
I'm all right.
Well, I'll tell you, I still think Frank Elias needs to go. I'm sorry. He needs to go, and we still got a closer, and the closer we got is a joke. And we need a center fielder, a real legitimate center fielder. I mean, this guy we got now, he's just fulfilling. He's not a real center
Now, they were hoping it was going to be Kowser because he does play pretty good center field, but he's just not hitting, you know?
No, and he's not as fast as some of these outfielders, center fielders out there. But as far as the Ravens go, We need a number one wide receiver. Bateman's not number one. Bateman.
Zay Flowers would qualify as a number one to me.
Yeah, but we need somebody to go along with him. Bateman, if he catches the ball, if he gets open, he never has any yak yards. He usually falls down where he catches the ball at. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And they need to get number one receiver, the Ravens do. And we'll just see how it goes.
Well, watch Jacoby Lane, the rookie that they drafted in the third round. There's nothing but glowing reports on him, so keep an eye on him during training camp.
You think they still might bring a veteran in?
They might. I think they're going to give Jacoby Lane every chance to break the starting lineup. And if they feel like they still need to do it, they will. You know, they've shown that. Every year they bring in a veteran after training camp opens, you know.
And I still hope we get a better pass rush than last year.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot better than last year. I think you're going to be real happy with what you see there. All right, Tom.
All right.
Thanks for the call. There he goes. Tom and Rising Sun. Tom has been calling me for years, and rare is the time that he calls and we don't talk pass rush. Some people are just focused on certain things, and Tom and Rising Sun, it's pass rush. And I'm not making fun of him when I say that, but that's just him, you know? So I'm just glad that camp's getting ready to open. I'm glad that we're going to have some actual news to talk about and not a lot of, projection and things like that. It's a good time of the year, late, when you get into August and things start overlapping, and it's just, it's good, I'll say this, the Orioles get us through summer every year. They do, but man, it's good when football starts again, because you know what? You can be out there and it's 100 degrees. And like I was at all those training camps, sitting out there suffering and thinking, well, you know what? In a couple of months, these guys are going to be playing and these leaves are going to be changing and the air is going to be cooler and isn't that going to be great? And that's what football means to me. It's that whole combination of things. And I think I speak for a lot of you too. All right. Enough waxing philosophical. We got another hour to do. Coming up next hour, Femi's going to join me at 2:30. We're going to talk about him leaving here and his new adventure that he's going to have starting next week, 5 days a week on the afternoon, the renamed Final Drive. I'm really happy for Femi. We'll hear from him coming up next hour. I'd like to hear from you too, 410-583-1057.
Wherever the Orioles season takes you.
Say goodbye to this ball.
Download the free Odyssey app and hear reactions to all the biggest moments. Download it today and search 1057 The Fan.
Will you have enough money for retirement? Will it last? Listen to Andy Palladino in your Financial Hour every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. for insightful advice.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
80 million listeners depend on AM radio to always be on, delivering news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports you can trust. AM radio also delivers vital emergency information when you need it most. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show, hour number 3. Early E Street Band right there. Kitty's back, one of my favorites. Tom and Rising Sun mentioned this a minute ago, and it just kind of flew over my head, but the Ravens are bringing back Chris Moore. You'll remember that he was here a while. 4th-round pick by the Ravens in 2016, played 5 years here. Very solid guy when he was here. He signed with Houston in 21, then went to Tennessee in 23, the Cardinals in 24, the Commanders for 24 and 25. And last year he played in 14 games for Washington, 11 catches, 207 yards, and a touchdown as a rotational player. He's not the answer, but what he is he's a veteran who is familiar with the building and in a room that has very little veteran presence. I mean, Zay Flowers and Bateman are your 2 veterans, and we both look at them as relatively young players. So bringing in Moore will help with that. And I don't know that they're expecting a whole lot more of him. I don't even know if he makes the club, but I'm happy they got him because he was always a solid guy, willing to do whatever you needed him to do. He'd play special teams. He'd do all that. So I don't know that it's going to lead to a whole lot, but, good for them. Good for them. Orioles back at it tonight after that crushing defeat last night that I'm frankly, after 2 hours, tired of talking about. But that is the big story. I like the Orioles' chances a lot better tonight. They've got Brandon Young on the mound. But then again, I like their chances last night with Trevor Rogers, who threw a beautiful game. I mean, stunning. And those are not words I usually use to describe, a baseball performance, but that's what it was. He was just efficient and mowing them down. He got tired at the end, but he went into the 7th. And another great start, lost. So I don't know how much hope I'm going to put on Brandon Young, but Brandon Young has been sensational. The biggest surprise and best surprise to come out of the Orioles in 2026. When we look back at this season, and if they end up going absolutely nowhere, which it kind of looks like they might, we're going to look back on this season. We're going to say, hey, well, Brandon Young emerged. And, last year when they brought him up, he was horrible. And thinking, whoa, man, you felt bad for him. But this year, it's like he's been transformed. 8-2, 3.25 ERA. 74 strikeouts in 91 innings. Only giving up 9 home runs. 9 home runs in 91 innings. If there's one criticism you can make of the Orioles starting rotation, it is they do tend to give up home runs. But not Brandon Young. So that game tonight, 7:05, we'll see if they can bounce back. This is critical time right now. The 7-game winning streak was great, but let's be real here. They've lost 3 out of 4 since that 7-game winning streak. They have to decide collectively if they're in this thing or not. And if they are, find ways to win instead of ways to lose. Stop looking for those rakes to step on, Man, I love that line. It makes me want to say bad words, That's all I'll say, and I'll leave it with that. If you're just joining us, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan is going to be affected. He was significant injuries in a car crash that happened July 14th, but we just started hearing about it today. He will be there to open training camp, and they're going to be a hotly watched team, a Super Bowl contender for sure. But he was in a car accident when he hit an ATV, collided with an ATV, broke his nose, 3 ribs, broke his hand, 40 stitches in his face, and a severe concussion. But he will be there to start the season. It's just, it's odd, It really is. Yeah, well, our coach is hurt. And like I said earlier, will he be on the PUP list? We'll see. The big news yesterday, of course, LeBron James deciding he's going to go to Philadelphia for his final year in the NBA. He's promising it's going to be his final year. And a lot of people kind of blinked that he signed a 2-year, $8 million contract, $4 million a year. That's not all that much. By comparison, he made $53 million for the Lakers last year. This tells me that he wants to go out a winner. And he's going to play one more year, and he picked the team that he thought gave him the best chance to do that, and now he's going to be a 76er in that town. That, to me, as I started analyzing his choice, that is the best reason I could think of for him to go there. He said, I truly love this game, and I have more to give. It'll be his 4th team as he looks for his 5th NBA title. And by the way, you thought about those when they had Dr. J and all that. If they do win the NBA next year, it'll break a 43-year championship drought for the 76ers. 43 years. It's pretty remarkable. It is. There hadn't been a lot of reaction to it. As I joked earlier in the show, Philadelphia fans are weird. They were happy for about 15 minutes, and then they started talking about how he's too old, and they blew it, and blah, blah, blah. That's just how they are up there. I have friends doing this job up there, sports talk, and they say, man, it's you better stretch before you go in that studio, because the fans up there are they're rabid, and they're angry a lot, and it's just, of all the places LeBron could have gone to create, a conversation, Philadelphia is right up there at the top of the list for me. And they're loving it up there and hating it at the same time, because love and hate is what being a Philadelphia sports fan's all about. 410-583-1057 is the number. Let's go to Steve in Edgewater. Steve, what's on your mind?
You and me and Femi have talked about this before, and I'm a fan of Bateman. And the other shows, the third show, which is the downer for me, it's happy in the morning, then it's happy in the morning. I laugh, and then in the third show with T-Bone and the Ginger Gorilla, they're just, the sky is falling. What if? And
Femi's going to fit in well there.
I know. And you and I, it's been at least a month or two, because I was sitting in a hardware parking lot talking to you and Femi. I like Bateman, but the thing that no one ever talks about, they always say Bateman's going downhill. Bad offensive line. Lamar was on the run.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the 4th target.
Yep.
So it's always get rid of Bateman, but no one talks about Bateman's target and catch.
People just look at the numbers. People just see that he hasn't, and that's what a lot of people form their opinions on. I don't really
give Lamar the benefit of the doubt. They don't look at the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with Bateman. I would like to see Bateman assert himself a little bit more. I would like to see Bateman be targeted a little bit more. But the one thing we've learned in 8 years of Lamar is he's got favorites. He's got guys that he trusts, and those are the guys that he throws to when he scrambles. Mark Andrews is a great example of that. Bateman and Zay is in that group. Lamar loves to throw to Zay, when he's scrambling. For whatever reason, Bateman has not been able to break through to that group, and I think that's his biggest problem.
One other thing, Chris Moore was solid back then.
Yeah.
I forgot about him, so I thought he would be retired by now, but he's not really that far into the league.
You know what? You and me both. I thought, is he still playing? When I read that. But that's a very youthful receiver room, and I could see where a move like that might make a lot of sense.
He'll be possession, won't he?
If he plays that much at all, I think he's more there for presence. And I think they'll put him in there on special teams because that's what they loved about him the last time he was here.
On the Orioles, if he does spend money, what are you looking for? Third base, center field, pitching pitching.
I don't know that I'm worried about third base until the injured budding star gets back. That was his position. It was going to be for years and years. So I don't know. They could use a center fielder. They could definitely use a center fielder. And above all else, they need more help in that bullpen,
Bullpen.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks for the call. You too. I usually do have a good day, but thanks for wishing it to me. It's funny the way this season has unfolded, because it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about how surprising this bullpen has been and what a strength it has turned out to be. But then bodies started hitting the floor. You started, injuries started piling up. I am tired of using injuries as an excuse. Every team has injuries. We just notice them more here because we follow the Orioles very closely. And, oh, man, all these injuries, hey, it got to be worse than anybody. Well, really, it's not. Good teams overcome injuries. Good teams find ways to win games, and like last night. Think back to 2023 when the Orioles won 100 and whatever it was games that year. And everybody was manager of the year and general manager of the year and everything. The future looked bright. They were all a bunch of kids, right? It didn't necessarily lead to anything. And that's the frustrating thing about baseball. Guys regress. It doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go, as opposed to maybe some other sports. Baseball's fickle, and baseball will break your heart. And like you ask any professional baseball player, ask Ryan Ripken sometime if you ever get on his show, because the traffic's heavy with Ryan. But just ask him, the baseball's just strange. It's mysterious. It's hard to figure, and it's even harder to handicap. There's a reason why people love betting football so much, because football, you can predict certain things. You can figure certain things are going to happen. The reason baseball was never that popular to bet, it's catching up now because of, the legalized sports gambling, but baseball was just too hard to handicap. It's just too hard to put money down. They figured out ways to do it now, but it's just it'll frustrate you. And last night is the best example of that I can think of. All right, we're going to open the phones back up next segment. I'd love to talk to you. 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057. Femi himself going to join us at 2:30. Stick around for that.
Beginning July 29th, your afternoons just got a whole lot better. Former Raven and Super Bowl 35 champion Femi Ayanbadejo joins Tim Barbalace and Ken Weinman to bring you The Final Drive. Weekdays from 2 to 6. Femi, Ken, and Tim break down the teams you love with the analysis you need. The Final Drive. Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. 105.7 The Fan.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
You pay what we pay, not a penny more. Get employee pricing at Anderson Buick GMC. Right now, drive a new Sierra 1500 and get employee pricing. That's up to $11,500 off. Shop Maryland's largest in-stock selection at 2 convenient Anderson locations and get the Sierra 1500 you want. Plus, available 0% APR financing. Now that's smiles for miles. Check out AndersonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Financing on select models with approved credit through GM Financial.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support. All in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Most of us are one good deal away from finally replacing that worn-out rug, fixing up the backyard, or getting the bedroom we actually want. Good news, that deal's almost here. Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every...
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show on a beautiful Saturday in Baltimore. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice, too. This is a nice little respite in the middle of July, or the end of July. Man, we're into the end of July already. It's 25th, you know. Ravens rookies have reported. Veterans will all have reported by the close of business on Tuesday. We're getting ready to turn the corner here. It's time to look at some football, that's for sure. And I'm ready, and I know you are too. It's been a tough summer. And I tell you what, give credit to the World Cup for getting us through the summer. You know, normally we lean on the Orioles real hard, and when they're winning a lot, that's great. You know, that'll get us through the summer. But, you know, the way they've been playing this year, the soccer really helped. And I gained a new appreciation for the game. I've never been and will never be a rabid soccer fan, but I understand the game better than I used to. I appreciate the skill and the stamina involved. You know, the thing about the World Cup that really got me, the players are up and down the field. How about those referees? You talk about being in great shape. My gosh. Anyway, it was a great show. I like the way it ended, and congratulations all around to all the organizers. I'm glad it was in America for the most part, and we showed up. We showed them who we are, and that's good too. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Jeff in Finksburg. Jeff, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce, I got a topic I think is near and dear to your heart.
What's that?
You mentioned the 96 Ravens winning, losing 41-38. So when we look back on that, and I wasn't able to watch all the games. I was back in college.
Right.
But how do you look at that team? I mean, it's not like we had a bunch of superstars. Was it March Roberta was a really good offensive coach, or were we just constantly playing from behind?
Well, no, March Roberta was a really good offensive team. The problem with that team is the defense. You basically had Ray Lewis and 10 guys from the bus stop. You know?
Oh, yeah.
The next year they draft Peter Bulwer. Chris McAllister's not long after that. Dwayne Stark's not. I mean, they really concentrated on defense the next couple of drafts, and that really tells the story of the Ravens, you know, how they built the franchise. But I traveled with them in 96. I did the games with Scott and Tom on the radio, you know, so we saw a lot of it up close. But it was the damnedest thing. They would get big leads and blow them, and the defense just couldn't play at all, couldn't function. And when you look at what the Ravens became and what they are now, it's hard to believe that they were such an open door then. The team was building. In 94 in Cleveland, if you remember, they made the playoffs. They had a real nice team, and Belichick was the coach, and they had good personality, a great coaching staff. And then 95 happened and the whole thing fell apart. And a lot of people don't talk about this. I know this to be true because I talked about it with Art Modell. The reason he fired Bill Belichick, the reason Belichick didn't make the move down here with the team was because of his personality. Remember that he wasn't Bill Belichick yet. He didn't have all these accolades and all of this. He was grumpy with the media. He wasn't somebody who was going to reach out to the fans too much. And Art knew job one was to sell this team to a new city, right? So Ted Marchibroda was coming off a real big year in Indianapolis with Jim Harbaugh quarterback. If you remember, they went to the playoffs that year. So he looked like a really good solution. Not only that, Baltimore already knew him. And then Bruce Laird put it perfectly. He said, he's an older guy. He's kind of grandfatherly. And the last guy in the world you want to let down is your grandfather,
One question about that. So, you're 96, phenomenal offense. But then 97, I think we sort of, like the talent kind of came back to earth. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, well, the schedule got a little tougher too. And, and face it, in the old AFC Central, I know you remember that. I mean, having to play home and home with the Titans and the Jaguars on top of the other three teams that we now know in the division, it was just tough. But they did kind of settle back a little bit, but defense was being pushed harder. Like I said, they drafted Boulware and they brought in some pieces. I think that was Goose's first year, if I'm not mistaken. Or if not,
97, right?
And McCrary too, I believe. So that was the improvements being made, and they didn't have to just go, light up the scoreboard as much as they had to in the future. And then the next year, I think, is what got Ted fired. I think they wanted to really see more progress, and Ted didn't develop it, and so that opened the door for Brian Billick.
One last question for you, and I know this was before you.
Yeah.
But so Marchibroda was known as an offensive genius, being the offensive coordinator for those Buffalo teams.
And Burt Jones, too.
But when he was in Baltimore, wasn't it more? It was a little bit more ball control. It wasn't like wide open with him.
Yeah, and Burt liked to throw it. You had Roger Carr and you had guys that could catch it. And I don't know that it was more. I think it was more balanced because the Colts had a pretty good running game back then too.
Yeah, Lydell. Because I remember Lydell Mitchell, hey diddle, Lydell up to Mitchell up the middle.
And then they traded him for Joe Washington, if you remember.
Oh, did they? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's funny. They had a Colt reunion last summer for that 75 team, the Babe Ruth Museum, and they asked me to come over and help MC, and I was glad to do it. One of the things they had me do was interview Lydell Mitchell in front of the crowd. And I mentioned to him when we got started, I said, man, you and Franco Harris were the starting running back. Or I said, Penn State, I said, how'd you ever lose a game? And he smiled and he says, well, we didn't lose very many. And I said, yeah, you got a good point. But here's the funny story. He and Franco were in the draft the same year. So the draft's going on, and Franco comes in furious. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, you're the crappiest team in the NFL. And you're going to the Baltimore Colts? And everybody laughed, and Lydell said, it's funny how all that worked out, isn't it?
It flipped very quickly there.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, great to hear from you. I'm always down to talk 96 Ravens, that's for sure.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go to Wanda in Randallstown. Wanda, you there? Hey, Wanda.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. I wanted to bring up some information about Wilt Chamberlain since you guys brought him up. Earlier this week, I read a guy went to a flea market and found a Wilt Chamberlain practice jersey. Mm-hmm. And he paid, I think, and don't call me, $3.67 for this practice jersey. So he puts it online just to see what kind of interest it would get. Yeah. And the Wilt Chamberlain Foundation, I think it was, contacted him. Guess how much money that man made on that jersey?
I read the same thing you did, but I don't want to steal your thunder. You tell me.
$86,000.
$86,000. You know what? Wilt is up in heaven laughing about that. I promise you.
Yes, indeed. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was such a great story because that man, he had one hell of a career.
He really did. He really, and none of these young NBA fans even remember him, much less mention his name.
Please, they just didn't know basketball.
It's crazy. And Wanda, one other thing, since we both go back to that era, was there a better one-on-one battle than Wilt and Bill Russell ever?
Oh, my goodness. That was center play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't even watch NBA anymore. Not the men. I hear the women.
I hear
because they get away with murder. They travel. They carry the ball.
Yeah.
It's just, the refs don't call anything. So I leave it alone. I may watch the finals, but that's about it.
I hear you. All right, Wanda. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
Good to hear from you, dear. All right. Let's go to Chuck in Dundalk. Chuck, what's up?
Hey, Bruce, as always, a great show.
Well, thank you.
Now, I'm going to throw something out there for you, and I either want you to confirm or correct me on this. But on September the 13th, when we kick that ball off, we will technically have the Ravens in Baltimore longer than we had the Colts.
Well, the Colts' first season here was 53. The Colts that we knew, the Colts that were in the other league and merged and filed and all that. 53 would be the first. So that would be what? 80. You're making me do math, and that's never good for me. 63, 73, 83, 93, 03, 13, 23. So that's 63 years. So, yeah, we will have had the Ravens longer than the Colts. How about that?
Ain't that something? And listen, tell Femi when he comes on that I am stoked for his new show.
You'll like hearing that. I'm stoked for it, too. We always knew that we were trying to prepare him for other things here, and it happened real fast. And credit the station for being smart enough to promote him, you know?
Amen.
All right, Chuck, thanks for the call. I'm going to squeeze this last one in before we go to break here, Mike. Let's go to Joe in Arbutus. Joe, what's up?
Bruce, great show, buddy. I just wanted to comment real quickly about, you was talking about the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm 65 years old, so I'm up there a little bit. I've been a Baltimore football fan all my life. I love my Ravens. But them 3 Colts seasons, 75, 76, and 77 are my favorite.
They were special, weren't they? You know, the Colts.
Even though we lost 10 games. I was at the Christmas Eve Raiders game. That was heartbreaking.
That was heartbreaking. You know, the Colts in the 70s, they will never get their due, because they played in the same conference as the Steelers and Raiders, who were great in the 70s, you know, and earlier Miami. I tell you, somebody else that's in that group with the Colts back in the 70s is the Oilers. Another really good team that just had the misfortune of playing with against some great teams, you know.
Burt Jones, it's a shame that man got hurt, because I think it was Bill Belichick that even said that he was one of the greatest quarterbacks that he'd ever been around.
Yeah, and he'll never get his due either. And I tell you, you heard me talking with the previous caller about that reunion last summer. It was fun to watch because Burt Jones was still the leader. He was still herding them around, and hey, you guys come out. It was really fun to watch, you know?
I'm glad. I wish I would have went to that, but I'm so glad that you did and had a good time. And I listen to your show every Saturday, Bruce.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Joe. Tell everybody in Arbutus that old Bruce says hey. All right? Will you do that for me? All right.
I can do that.
See you later. Buddy. All right, Joe. Coming up next, my man, Femi Iambadejo. We're going to talk about the present and the future and what it all means for him. And I'm going to congratulate him live on the air. Can't wait to do that. Stick around.
Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie. Inside Access. Live on YouTube weekdays 6 till 6. Subscribe for daily shorts right to your phone and never miss what you missed. 105.7 The Fan.
This weekend only at Old Navy, score $16 jeans for adults and $9 jeans for kids. That's jeans for the fam at just $16 for adults, $9 for kids. Hurry in to save big this Saturday and Sunday only at Old Navy. Valid 7/25 and 26. Select styles only.
Hey, it's Ken Weinman. Inside Access is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel's giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 105.7 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Maryland. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package,
T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Circulating Knowledge is sponsored by Vascular Surgery Associates.
Hi, Weekend Warriors. I'm Dr. Micah Girardi with VSA, Vascular Surgery Associates. Are your knees bothering you? Have you been diagnosed with knee arthritis and tried various painkillers, injections, and physical therapy, but not ready to have surgery yet? We here at VSA have a solution with a minimally invasive outpatient procedure that helps the actual blood flow in your knee joint, decreasing your painful inflammation and stiffness. If this sounds like you, visit us at coolknees.com. That is coolknees.com.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show on a beautiful Saturday in Baltimore. You know, since March, I had to train myself to come back from breaks and say the Bruce and Femi Show. Well, guess what? That ain't going to be anymore. Joining me now, my good friend and former broadcast partner, Femi Ayambadejo. Femi, let me say first how thrilled I am for you. And let me say secondly, how very little surprised I am the way this all worked out.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Uncle Bruce. You know what? I think you might have had the biggest hand in the whole thing, honestly. I know I came in a few times during the football season. You know, I was calling in fairly intermittently, but, you know, unpredictably. And ultimately, I just started coming in. Remember, I just come in and sit down with you for an hour here and an hour there. And I don't recall who was in the building on a particular day, but you're like, you need to meet this person, so-and-so. You know, maybe there's another opportunity here. And before I knew it, we had the Bruce and Femi Show, and couple months passes, and here we are with the final drive starting next Wednesday with me, Tim, and Ken. And man, like your foresight and ability to help me kind of navigate it and just be patient, man, you had such an integral hand in it, man. So I'm so thankful that you were able to assist and help out.
It was my great pleasure, and I'm going to tell you something. I could the very first time, even when you would come in and like sit with me for an hour, you know, before you were on the payroll, you could see you lit up. You know, you could see, I could see you just melting yourself into this format. I think you were born to do this stuff, and I think you need an opportunity to do it on a regular basis, and you're going to get it now 5 days a week. That's great.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. And, you know, I've been kind of doing some freelance media stuff, whether it's creative writing around sports or, you know, obviously I was with Jerry for a couple years in the booth doing the Ravens game day radio broadcast at the tongue twister. You know where I was going with that. And so I feel like, and obviously, you know, I'm an entrepreneur and I've been to business school and I'm really deep in digital health and things like that. But I've always loved media. I've always loved being able to talk sports. And, you know, I live at the intersection of analyst, athlete, admirer, but also accountability, right? You know, like kind of those 4 things are the things that drive me. I don't claim to get into anyone's head or know what anyone's thinking. I think respect is an important part of this. I think data and confirmation and validation and verification are important. And so we live in a very unique period where content creators and I think traditional media and journalism, the lines are very blurred.
Definitely.
It's kind of a free-for-all. Yeah, it's kind of a free-for-all, but Bruce, they write it for me, man. They make it easy for me. There's just so many things I can talk about and so many things I can point out. And then I have the experience, right? You know, I've had the blessings to be an athlete and play 11 years and my brother to play a decade and to be a Raven and to win a Super Bowl and to know what that journey feels like and to be cut and to get hurt and to be told things and to lose out on opportunities and to gain them. And I like sharing those anecdotes. And when I'm sitting down talking, I'm just on the couch. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I like to deliver. And, I'm always down to get down and dirty. You know how it is. But I try not to cross a certain line. I really try hard. And I'm passionate about what I do, but it is very personally driven and data driven, right? I don't make things up.
Well, afternoon drive, as we call it in the radio business, is a very important day part for a radio station. They have been running a man short for a while, so they're going to be happy to see you join the team. But really, what are you going to bring to that show?
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring the same thing that I brought to the show with you. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring I'm going to challenge people. I'm going to bring my data and perspectives. I'll bring the inside the veil of the locker room, and I'll bring my organic spontaneity, the little things that come up that you don't plan on. I love those things, and you know that I live in a world where art, science, pop culture, right, politics, right, like not in a way to be adversarial, but I live in that world, and I don't mind people talking about that stuff. I'm right on my toes. And if things come up and people want to discuss them, I'm not going to ever avoid a conversation. I'm always down to have the debate, and I'm going to try to keep it respectful. I learn something new every day. I learn things from people that I don't even think I'm going to learn from. Well, not that I can't learn from them, but I'm not going into a situation like, oh, I'm going to learn something new today. It just kind of happens when you have a conversation and you have those debates and good friction. You know what I mean? So I'm going to bring that to the show. It's going to happen. And Ken and I go way back. I've known Tim since he was, behind, in the booth.
And I know you're a Tim. I know you like Tim a lot. You're a Tim fan.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, Ken and I have a personal relationship that goes way back, and me and Tim I think we just vibe and click, and I think the three of us, and you know how well they click, right? They've had a lot of success from when they first started the show before, and so I just want to build on that. I want us to win our day part and our demo, and I want to make sure that we're being creative and unique, just like the other shows are. And, Jeremy Kahn and I go way back, and I love Jeremy, and I think he's such a talented guy. And I love that morning show because the organic parts of it and the funny parts of it, a lot of it's not scripted. It just kind of happens. And I want us to be able to be ourselves and be able to do that. And you know me, Bruce, like there's times when you and I, some of our best stuff is off air. Yeah. And we try to bring it on air. And you know what I mean? And so I want to be able to do that with them too. And I think having the three of us, I think in this case, 3 cooks is good because I think it takes a little pressure off each guy and allows people on different dates through different segments and opportunities to shine a little bit. And when one of us wins, all 3 of us win.
Well, it's 4 hours, so believe me, you're going to need all 3. 4 hours is a long time. Let me just veer into another lane briefly here. I read something that you wrote this week. You've been talking to me for months about you wanted to write about Lamar, and it was at the Baltimore Fishbowl is publishing.
It was Baltimore Beatdown.
Baltimore Beatdown. It's there. And a lot of those thoughts about Lamar, I've heard you voice over the months. You have very strong opinions about Lamar, but you put them all down in that one. I would recommend that for everybody. Is that going to be a regular thing from you now? Are you going to explore the writing side?
Yeah, I'm calling it the Lamarticles. It just kind of slipped off the tongue one day. I was talking to my girlfriend about it. We were at home, and I'm like, yeah, I wrote this article on Lamar, and, I'm like, Lamar, Lamarticles. And her and I just started going, yeah. And I'm like, that's what I've been calling it, unofficially the Lamarticles. But, yeah, it's going to be a 4-part series. I think each part is about 1,000 words, so, not a long read, but it's rich with detail. And you were the first person, and some of the folks that were listening to Bruce and Femi got a little taste of it a couple months ago. And this is a much more refined version with a lot more data. Probably a lot more objective, too, in regard to just the approach that I took. I don't need to do much. Lamar is a generational talent. I think he's the most talented player in the NFL. I think he's going to torch the league this year. I think the Ravens are going to torch the league this year. I think they're severely underestimating the Minter-Doyle effect and what these young coaches are going to do. In the past, the Ravens have always been, hey, we do business a certain way. You know what we're going to do, and we dare you to stop us. Well, that's over. It's going to be a lot more sophisticated. It's going to be a lot more shielded and a lot more stealthy, I think. And I think that's going to bode well for this team. It's going to bode well for Lamar. And you know how much I appreciate Lamar and just how different he is. And I think he's just very misinterpreted. Like the words mercurial, there's a lot of adjectives they use to describe him. I won't go into the negativity, but I just think that he's just very misunderstood. I think Lamar is he's confident, he's quiet, and he's an introvert. And he's different than the archetype or the prototype from a personality perspective, but it served him well his whole life. And so I just want to chronicle that. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to chronicle that.
You know, I was around Lamar a lot in the early part of his career, and I thought that I had a pretty good handle on who Lamar was. But until you started talking about him, I didn't know him at all. You know, I thought that maybe he didn't participate in the group interviews and all the TV commercials and all that because maybe he didn't feel like he was good enough to do that. You made it clear that he has no interest in that. See, you taught me things about Lamar. And like Earl Weaver said, it's what you learn after you think you already know everything that really matters, you know?
Yeah, no, Lamar is very selective in what he does. He has a lot more opportunities than he takes advantage of. He doesn't want to associate himself with just anything. And I also think that to some degree, some of these things are just a distraction he doesn't want, nor does he need. You know, he's very focused on ball. Yeah. He's very focused on his relationship with God and Christ. He's very focused on his family and his friends and producing a winner for this organization and for this city. Like, those are his priorities. Obviously, his daughter, you know, but Lamar is not complicated. He's quiet, you know, and I think that less is more with Lamar. And I think the more that people think they know, and the more they talk and chirp about it, the more it tells me that they aren't really paying attention. Right. And even today, I'm listening to Nick Wright and the people on his show and listening to Nick talk about it's more likely that Lamar has a season more like last year than an MVP season. Yet Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow, who both have had surgery this year, Lamar hasn't. And Lamar had a higher passer rating than both, and in some ways was more effective.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, his stock is still down for these people. They just still don't get it, and I love it. I love the negativity because every time they do this, you know what happens. He wins another MVP. The Ravens challenge for the AFC title, and I think that's going to happen again this year.
It does some stuff we've never seen before. Well, look, I'll be listening on Wednesday. I'm really thrilled for you. I know you're going to kick this thing right out of the park, and I'm grateful for the time we spent together. I really am. We were already friends, but we're really friends now, and I'll be rooting for you.
Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate it, man. I'll definitely come on the show too. I'll still come on the Bruce and your parentheses Femi show. You know what I mean? I'll still come on.
All right, Femi. Thanks, man, and good luck again.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, there he goes, Femi Ayanbadejo. Really, really good guy, and a really solid addition to that afternoon show, which is being renamed The Final Drive. That show came with some controversy. We all know what happened with one of the previous hosts. And frankly, that job stayed open for months, and they found the right guy to drop into it. I think this worked out for everybody. It worked out for the station. It worked out for Femi. And above all else, it worked out for you, the listener. You're going to get to hear him every day with a couple of pros driving you home every day. That's a pretty good deal. As far as this show, it's going to stay the same. I have talked to management. I have somebody in mind I'd like to bring in. But we're very early in the process, and they're not ready to give me an answer on that. I don't like talking to myself for 3 hours, but I can deal with it. If that's the worst thing that happens to me, I'm in pretty good shape. All right, coming up, Mike Popovic is going to replace me at 3, as he always does. He'll take you from 3 to 6. But Mike wanted to come on today because one thing we're really not talking much of is something that's very much on his mind. He's going to join us next. So stick around. Final segment of the Bruce Cunningham Show.
This is the Fan, baby. Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie. Inside Access. Live on YouTube weekdays 6 till 6. Search Baltimore 105.7 The Fan. Subscribe for daily shorts right to your phone and never miss what you missed. The Fan.
Why do landscaping pros prefer Echo outdoor power equipment? In a word, power. Echo Power means extreme power, day in and day out, sun up to sundown. Professional-grade Echo blowers, string trimmers, and chainsaws maximize productivity, powering through the toughest jobs nature can throw their way. Experience Echo Power for yourself at Liberty Discount Lawn Equipment in Upper Co. or visit LibertyDiscount.com to learn more. That's LibertyDiscount.com. Echo. Power on and on.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage. Roadside assistance for breakdowns. Bill negotiation to help lower your bills. Identity theft aid for peace of mind. And you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey.
Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay?
I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show on a beautiful Saturday in Baltimore. Mike Popovic comes in at 3 o'clock. He will take you up to 6 o'clock. You know, last year, Mike and I started doing this thing because Mike does the pregame for the Maryland football games, and we would have Mike come on and sort of give us a preview. And Mike texted me today and said, that's a real good idea. Why don't we do it today? And I said, that's a fine idea because we don't talk much about Maryland football, and we really should. So Mike's joining us now. Mike, welcome in.
Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I had to walk out of the control room. You were in the middle of a sentence just now because he said I had to get back in here. But Maryland football, it's a struggle in the Big Ten. Everybody knows. Mike Locksley is on kind of a hot seat going into this season. There's a lot of negativity going on down there. Tell me something I should feel positive about.
Well, they've got over 70% of the production last year coming back. So that's huge for them. And even though Malik Washington probably gets the most attention because he's a quarterback and him coming back obviously is huge, but I'm really excited about their defense. They've got a lot of production at linebacker, but they're going to have 3 to 4 legitimate pass rushers, including Zion Ali, the freshman out of St. Francis. So I'm very excited. I think the defense is actually going to be just as exciting, if not more, to watch than maybe the offense. But they retained all the key guys, or just about all the key guys, and that's a huge start. And thinking or considering NIL these days, and the fact that athletic departments can pay their players, the fact that Maryland was able to hold on to them, I think, speaks highly of the job that Jim Smith is doing. And I don't know if you saw, there was a piece in the Baltimore Sun earlier this week that said that, Damon Evans talked a good game, but never delivered. Jim Smith both talks a good game, but is delivering as well. And he's going to get Maryland, I think, to the middle of the pack when it comes to finances. And I think Mike Locksley will have the most resources. And I think right now he's got the most resources that he's ever had. So that should give folks some reason for optimism. It is a big year, as you talked about, Bruce. And I do think he has to at least go 6-6. But the amount of production coming back is huge.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I won't even say kind of. I was very surprised Malik Washington elected to come back. He could have gone somewhere else and gotten a whole lot of money, but he chose to stay with Maryland. They were thrilled about it, obviously, but were you as surprised as I was?
Yeah, to some extent, but I always felt, though, ultimately that Maryland would do everything they could to bring him back. And if that meant maybe not being able to sign some other players so that they had their returning quarterback, that they would do it. And frankly, I think if he had gotten away, that would have been a black mark on Jim Smith in terms of, okay, well, you're talking about resources for Locksley. Well, if he can't retain his quarterback, even though you're right, it's a high price, then, then I'm not sure the future's as bright as you're saying it might be. I also think, to Washington's credit, he's really bought into this stay in state and let's rebuild this thing and keep in-state, as much in-state talent as possible. Let's keep it home in CP.
Well, those Glen Burnie guys, those roots are deep in Glen Burnie. You don't have guys walking out on Glen Burnie very much, that's for sure. The thing is, though, the reality of it is, though, the Big Ten is the Big Ten in football. And you're usually playing for third place or fourth place. You know who's going to be at the top year in and year out. You mentioned that the Terps, though, they got a guy coming in from St. Francis. That would be a valuable pipeline for them to build,
Yeah, and I think they certainly have to a degree. Anything more that they can get is certainly going to be something that they're, I think, going to strive to do. But just in general, not just at St. Francis, but throughout the state, in keeping as many. You've got a lot of players from Good Counsel, for instance, that end up getting away to other schools. So, Bill, I think their pipeline at St. Francis is pretty good. It can always be better, for sure. But I think at some of the other schools, hopefully, they can get maybe a little bit more traction and consistency with keeping these guys at home. But Bruce, we have seen the likes of Indiana, which is very similar to Maryland in terms of the academic requirements, but also just the administration and their belief in having a strong academic school and really believing in the student athlete. And so when you take a look at what Indiana did, you look at Maryland and say, well, okay, maybe national championship is a bit much, but can't they raise the level of their game? And I think the answer is yes. And look, yeah, you're right. I mean, expectations have to be realistic. But look, if you can go 7-5, 8-4 most seasons, and you can compete with the middle to lower the pack of the Big Ten, and occasionally either be really competitive or upset a team towards the top. If you can do that on a fairly consistent basis, year in, year out, 7-5, 8-4, I think
Maryland
would have a pretty happy
with
fan.
that. Yeah,
you'd have a very happy fan base, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I really don't. But they obviously have to keep working on it. But this is a big year, and Mike Locksley brings in in yet another offensive coordinator. Pep Hamilton's still on the staff as an advisor, but they bring in Clint Trickett here, and I guess they're looking at obviously trying to maximize what they can out of Malik Washington. I guess they felt like maybe they didn't last year. But here's the key for this team this year. They've got to be able to run the football. They average less than 3 yards a carry. That's not going to get it done. They have to be able to run the football. And I know they want to get Malik Washington running more, and he can, but I still feel like it needs to come from the traditional way, and they have to work on that. And hopefully with that line coming back, and they got, I think Gilchrist is number 2 on the depth chart, but he was a huge recruit last year, Bruce, coming out of the state of Virginia. Yeah. He got hurt really early on, but he was having a good go of it at left guard. That was a huge blow. I think they've got some pretty good depth on the O-line, and here's hoping that they can get a more balanced approach to the games.
Well, one last thing because you got to get ready for your show. I'm looking to schedule. They open with Hampton. That's a paycheck game for Hampton. God bless them. They can use the money. That's for sure. Right. Then they got UConn. That's a winnable game, so they're 2-0. Right. That third game with Virginia Tech, with James Franklin, making in his first year and everything, I am absolutely fascinated by that matchup.
Yeah, and it's interesting. One of the StatCasts gave the Terps only like a 36% chance of winning that game, and I don't buy that. I mean, I think Franklin's done a nice job there so far, but it's still in the process of rebuilding there from the last couple of seasons.
They've lost 3 straight to Old Dominion.
Yeah, so I think Maryland's got a much better shot in that game, but it will be a really good game, and it's going to be an interesting dynamic with Franklin now at Va Tech and not at Penn State, but he still has that resentment, and at some point it's like, let it go. Yeah. That was an old administration, and
it was a great hire by Tech, though. I'll give them that, and they haven't been making great hires lately, so I'll tip my cap for them. Mike, we're just about out of time. I don't want you to give me too big a piece of your mind because you'll be needing it later.
Okay, I got you. All right, hey, Bruce, thanks for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to resuming this once we get into September.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Mike Popovic, everybody. He will be on at 3 o'clock in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. And he will take you up to 6 o'clock as he always does. It's always a good afternoon here on a Saturday. There's a lot of stations that don't really do local programming on weekends. And this station probably, it would probably be more profitable if they didn't, but they do. They choose they believe in Mike, they believe in me, they believe in Femi, and we're just really grateful that because this is a troubled business right now. And we feel really good about where we are and what we're giving to you guys every day of the week, 7 days a week. So, okay, enough said about all that. I had a good time today. I kind of figured I would because we had so many big things to talk about. My guests were terrific. I want to thank Femi, first of all. The last thing he's going to do is turn his back on me and forget this show because he understands that this show was, it kind of led to him doing what he's going to do. He is going to transform that show on the weekdays. When you're driving home from work, make it a point to tune in to listen to them. You'll be happy you did. Femi's going to affect that show in a very good way, the same way he affected this show in a very, very good way. It is rare that you get an ex-athlete with a Super Bowl ring to boot who is that erudite and that intelligent and can explain it in the way that Femi does. He's going to be huge in this business, and we're very happy to have him right now. And I was very honored to have him as my co-host for all these months. But give him a listen. Starting Wednesday, Final Drive. It's all there, and I want you to listen and just really give him a good shot. So thanks to Femi. Thanks to Rich Dubroff for being so loyal and be willing to talk about depressing Orioles stuff week in and week out. He plays a major part in this show, too. And Aaron, and, of course, Mike, who comes in to take over the last hour, and then he handles the Mike Popovic show, too. So thanks to all of them. And as I always say, as we're getting ready to get out of here, Baltimore, I love you madly. And you know what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm Bruce. We'll talk again next Saturday. Until then, see ya.
If you're thinking about it
every day,
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Will you have enough money for retirement? Will it last? Listen to Andy Palladino and your Financial Hour.